Live on YouTube. All right. And we're going to be capturing also so we can make shorts out of this. Stick around. Hosh is behind. Say good morning, Hosh.
Good morning,
All
Hosh.
right. He'll be saying that a few times, of course.
Yeah.
We, kind of a little different venue for us. We've done a couple of podcasts, of course, and we don't have one of our own because there's only so many hours in the day. All right. People ask us, why don't you podcast? We vlog every day. I mean, my God, isn't that what I guess that's what you call it, right, Osh?
Oh, yeah.
We're in the middle of war with killer bees and got the cameras on and we're talking and
Yes.
shit. I mean,
It's a war vlog.
it's a war vlog. World War B vlog.
Hey, Log Hog.
That I just made
Neil
that shit
Price,
up. That was
Melissa.
pretty
All right,
cool,
good.
actually,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we're here at the ranch, actually, and come and say good morning, Hosh.
Okay. Good morning, Hosh.
Well, you see, I told you he was getting better. That's and then he leaves.
No, I'm just pulling this.
Oh, he's making it better.
It's
I got
catching all
two. We got two wood stoves here. Killer Bee Nation, YouTube, TikTok. We're live on. I'm Booth Killer Bee Guy. You're gonna hear me say that a few times before we get started. We got a different little venue for us. In fact, Hosh might step back there and answer some comments and shit. What do you think? We got anybody?
Yeah, sure. You guys got any questions for Reed while we wait?
You got any questions?
We're starting a little early here.
Yeah, it's a little early. We're a few minutes early. We have a really cool podcast going on with Joey Santore, and he has this coolest podcast in the world. It's on YouTube primarily. I don't know if he does it on other platforms or not. And it is Crime Pays, but Botany doesn't. How cool is this? And he's been wanting to do a podcast with us, with Hosh and I, Killer Bee Guys, for a while now. And we finally got it set up. We slowed down enough. As you know, we've been busy as hell this summer and fall with these killer bees, doing the killer bee hive removal. So if anybody's got any questions or anything, we're going to be doing a podcast live with you guys. The podcast will air. We'll ask Joey about it in a minute. We'll air either tomorrow or the next day. He's recording it. We're recording and live streaming. All right, so we're kind of live streaming a podcast. for once, we don't really have any bee calls yet today. You know, we're on call, so we don't know what the hell. Anybody got any thoughts for us, Hosh?
Well, they're asking how I got to Bisbee.
How you
what I did before that.
Oh, well,
Isn't that
you know,
funny?
it's hard to get him out of prison, but once I told the warden of his punishment, you know, anyway, I'm just fucking with you. You know, how did Hosh get started with this?
Yeah.
He just came and asked me if I needed anybody to.
That was it.
That was it. I mean, yeah.
That was
Hosh-
it. That I didn't exist.
I didn't even exist. Poof, there he was. No, I did construction before that.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
did destruction.
Right.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll talk about that a bit too when Joey gives us a call. So Joey is going to give us a call. I got my phone. We're going to do a speakerphone with him. That's going to be a podcast on Joey Santore's. What is it? Crime pays, but Botany doesn't. Cool as hell. I'll tell you. That will be on YouTube. But like I said, we're live streaming and capturing, so we're going to be doing shorts and all that stuff. You'll see this over the coming days and weeks as Host. Well, that's not him. Someone's going to have to leave a message. That's for damn sure. That could be bees, right? We'll find out, Killer Bee Nation. We'll find out. Anyway, so when Joey calls so we can do our podcast, I'm going to hold my phone here because I can't hear for shit, okay? You know, I grew up in northern Wisconsin shooting, so I'm half deaf in this ear and I can't see out of this one at all. So it's really a frustrating thing. But you guys should be able to hear just fine. Hosh, when we get going with Joey and he hits the record button, Hosh back over and we're going to do a live stream of a podcast that will air later on Joey Santore's YouTube channel, which is Crime Pays, Botany doesn't. How awesome, huh? So who else has some thoughts for us? Anybody got any thoughts before we...
Yeah, it was a good one. Somebody said the bees are safe today. Like
yeah,
that.
that's it. Hey, did anybody have Northern Lights? Well, somebody called. We'll check it later. Did anybody have some Northern Lights, you guys?
Yeah, there's some folks on here from Sierra Vista,
Oh, right?
so they can let us know. Yeah.
Who's on Sierra Vista? Hey, guys from Sierra Vista, we love you guys. You know that. We're over there all the time, neighbors. We were actually able to see them here in Bisbee. Second time in a year. Now, I've been here in Bisbee, shit, I came in 81, so almost 50 years, right? came here as a young buck, and that would have been total sci-fi to even think that we could see northern lights here. That would have been end of the world shit, right? Twice in a year, and while we're still here, it was a red glow. I'm up pretty high, but I have some mountains in the way around me. But down in Old Bisbee, they had more of a northern view, and I saw a red glow for sure. Over in Sierra Vista, you guys saw some northern lights, right? Boy, how weird is this, man? I'll tell you, Mel and Dan up on the North Shore of Lake Superior, they must have got quite a show. I mean, my goodness, I heard the rest of the country got a hell of a show too. Unusual, and it's supposed to be worse. So we have another storm coming in today. Right now, that was a K5 K. What was it? It was a huge ass storm. It was like the biggest geomagnetic storm that we can have, and there's another one coming in today. Back to back stuff. I just hope I didn't fry any wires, because that, the Carrington event in 1859 melted all the telegraph wires and whatnot. It was just it was a CME that. Okay, if you've ever read the apocalyptic books of EMP, electromagnetic pulse, it's about that stuff. Kind of happening. And it looks like we have our friend here. So I'm going to get on with him now, guys. Well, good morning, senor.
Okay, good morning. Here we go. We're going to start, we'll just start off, so just super casual. We'll just do it casual, and we'll just, I like it to just sound like a casual conversation.
Yeah.
Between two friends at the end of the day.
Hell yeah, absolutely. So we are live on TikTok and YouTube, and Hosh is looking at comments and whatnot, but he'll be sitting down in front of the cam also here in a second.
He's on the tube.
Huh?
He's on the tube. He's on the tube.
I said tube. I said tube. Hey, did you see any northern lights?
No, I did not. I didn't. I'm too low. I'm at like 26 degrees latitude here. I'm down at the ass end of Texas.
Oh, never mind. Okay. Yep.
So,
yeah.
Where are you at?
We're down here. You know where Tombstone is, of course.
Yeah, I think so. What is it? That's outside of Phoenix, right?
Okay. Well, actually, okay. Tucson. Tucson is 100 miles south of Phoenix, and we are 100 miles south of Tucson. We are.
Yeah, you're near Bisbee. Right?
We're just on the edge of Bisbee and the edge of our seats, by the way. But we're a mile high in the mountains, and I actually saw the northern lights for the second time in a year last night again.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, you're lucky, man. All right. Well, I haven't seen him in a long time. I saw him driving on the interstate in Minnesota once. But welcome to the Crank Pays with Botany Doesn't podcast. Today on a podcast, I've been looking forward to this for a long time because I love this. I love these videos. It's Reed Booth, the Killer Bee guy, and Hosh. What's Hosh's last name? Does he prefer to keep it secret, or can he?
Are they?
Hosh is the last name.
Oh, Hosh is the last name. Okay, I apologize.
No. My name is Hosh.
Hosh. Oh, okay, there you go. Hosh. Hosh and Reed Booth. You guys put on these fucking suits and go deal with my arch nemesis, these bees. I learned about you from a friend who's a herper. He's an organic chemistry teacher. He does herping on the side, but he sent me these videos, and I said, "This is fucking nuts, man. This has got to be one of the most horrible ways to die. Getting swarmed by these things. The Scutellata hybrid." Commonly referred to as the quote Africanized bees.
Yeah.
That was bred in Brazil with a very aggressive ecotype of Apis mellifera, the honeybees.
Yeah.
They had European, and then they bred it with the southern ecotype, which is more aggressive. And so now we have this mess. And basically, anytime you encounter a feral bee colony in the lower latitude United States, it's going to be the more aggressive.
It's assume the worst. Let's put it that way. It's like as if you have two landmines in your yard. One's a dud and one's not. You gonna step on them to find out?
Right. I mean, these things, and I've been chased. I had a friend who's been chased because he's out there digging around the brush, lifting up, tin and sheet metal and stuff, looking for snakes and tortoises and shit. And he did that once with a killer beehive. They chased him. He got stung like 200 times. They chased him for half a mile.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And of course we see that and hear of it every single day. The most recent we heard was up in Mesa, which is Phoenix area, 2 days ago. Oh my God, these guys were transporting a hive. So there's a bunch of people relocating these damn things because of the great illusion of Winnie the Pooh glasses, and we
Save the
need sunny bees.
bees.
Yeah, no shit,
Save the
exactly, Joey.
bees.
Save the bees. It's not, nobody ever asks which ones, right? And so they're transporting this hive, and it lit up in their pickup truck, and the driver got stung up and lost control, killed a pedestrian, and ran into a pole.
Jesus Christ, fucking, I mean, I shouldn't be laughing, but like,
No shit. Well, that's the
something out of a movie. It's terrible.
that's
It's
a
fucking
that's the stupidity of it, you know. And that was just a couple days ago. This happens all the time. People are relocating these things. What the fuck? It makes no. They're relocating a deadly invasive species. What's not to love?
I mean, that's the thing too. Is I went to the Southern California Botanist Symposium last week, and there was a guy doing a presentation on how honeybees actually they not only reduce the diversity of native bees, which are fucking so cool. The last podcast that there was on native bee diversity in the deserts of North America.
Oh wow!
The honeybees reduce diversity of native pollinators, but they also reduce levels of fitness in plants because like a desert shrub will have be covered in many different flowers, but they're all in the same plant. So, and the honeybees behave differently than the native bees. They'll go from flower to flower to flower on the same plant. So the plant's essentially fucking itself, which leads to inbreeding, depression, and reduced levels of fitness. Whereas native bees, and you can watch them too, native bees will go from one flower then to a different plant.
That's all right. And Hosh, can you expound on it a little bit? Because Hosh talks about this extensively when we're doing these vids. What are your thoughts on it, Hosh?
Well, I mean, I think the main thing is people don't understand that pollination is not a simple thing. It's very complex, right? That's what it comes down to. And it comes down to more than just this inbreeding thing you're talking about. It's like length of proboscis, the size of the bee, like squash bees, for example. Only the squash bees can pollinate the squash plants here. Honeybees can't do that. Additionally, most of our native bees, they really emit a very loud hum, and that hum is designed to elicit a nectar response in the flowers, right? And so they basically, the flowers get wet, right? The bees come over, they start singing to them, the flowers get wet, and then they can go in there and grab that nectar. Honeybees can't do that. Honeybees don't buzz pollinate.
Well, it's not to mention all the specialist relationships that exist among native bees too.
Exactly.
A certain bee can only eat the pollen of a certain genus or family of plants, but they're invasive species, which a lot of people aren't aware of. Just regular people that aren't scientists or biologists or work in bee removal. But a lot of people don't know that they're invasive, but then these things can be really deadly too. They sting you, and once they sting you, you're marked with a pheromone.
Yep.
And then others start coming at you, and you don't have to be close to the nest either, right?
No, that's the thing. What people don't realize is how deadly these things are. Now, when we used to have European honeybees, people are quite shocked to learn that there were no honeybees in the state of Arizona before 1872 ever. They made it into California first. Now I'm talking European honeybees. And people are always like, well, but I thought they were native here. And I go, how I teach it is we'll go, wait a minute, I've never heard of an Alabama honeybee or a Texas honeybee or a Latin American honeybee. No, they're invasive here. They were brought over in the 1600s by colonists. And Native Americans hated them so much they called them white man's flies, and that was the nice ones. So they were kind of, we were in love with them. I used to keep bees up here at the ranch years ago in the late 80s and early 90s because I had Winnie the Pooh glasses on. And I thought, oh, they're cute and fuzzy. They don't try to kill me, and they give me honey. What's not to love? Of course, being myopic humans, we do not pay attention to what they do to native environment. An invasive species has never benefited the native environment they've invaded. Right? So now all of a sudden the Africanized come across the line, and back in '93, Joey, and so did I ever tell you that, Joey, that's why, they came from down south, right? And we're 9 miles from the border here. We're 9 miles. So we call them bee legals.
So they were, because they're obviously in Mexico, and they've been slowly heading north. And are they, how far that you know of, how far north are they heading?
Well, okay, first of all, that one went over your head. I guess it was bee legals.
No, I get you.
I'm giving you a hard time. Okay, so interesting story on that one. A few days ago, we got a comment from a fan up in British Columbia, and they're called Trees and Shrubs, and that's their business, I guess, up in BC, Canada. And they years ago had this beekeeper that came to them and said, "Can I keep some hives on your property, and I'll give you some honey?" Well, that's been happening for so long as honeybees have been here, and ranchers used to let them do that down here. And so they had some bees. Well, this guy, all of a sudden, the bees started attacking her husband. And she asked him, "What the fuck?" She asked him what's going on. He said, "Oh, well, the bears are so mean here that I imported Africanized honeybees to make them more aggressive to protect from the bears."
Jesus.
And so then the dumb shit takes these hives up into the mountains of British Columbia for the fireweed nectar flow, so he could get fireweed honey. Now, if you think for one moment that those bees did not swarm up there and divide and conquer, there are Africanized honeybees now in British Columbia, Ontario, and Alberta.
So the cooler temperatures don't really seem to affect them.
And we're actually not sure if it ever did, or if it was the illusion of, they're Africanized, they can't stand it where it's cold. You know that old fallacy.
Right, yeah, they're from a warm place, so maybe they need warm places they can't take.
But like I did a show with Nat Geo 15 years ago or something like that, and it was the old Monster Quest. Remember that show? The old, I think it was Nat Geo. They were always looking for Loch Ness and Sasquatch and shit like that. And so when the director called me up and I told him, "I'm going to show you real monsters." I almost got the cameraman killed, man. It was awesome. Anyway, the whole premise of that show was to dispel the myth that killer bees cannot live where it's cold. And we went to Flagstaff, we went to Vegas, they flew me everywhere to get samples of bees for testing a percentage of Africanization back here in Tucson at the labs. And all of them that we sent down in 2015, all of them, no matter where they came from, were Africanized.
They all had and that's the Scutellata ecotype. That's the Scutellata, what is it, a variety, I think, or subspecies or some shit. But so that was in all of them. All the DNA tests came back for positive.
Exactly, it all came back. And they're called Africanized because the dominant gene is the African gene.
Where is it from in Africa? Is it Northern Africa?
No, South. What are they, Hosh? South Cape?
It's South Africa.
South Cape bees, I think. Yeah, they're Eastern Savannah. Yeah. Eastern South African Savannah bee.
Oh, so this is probably an ecotype that evolved in response to hives getting raided by large mammals.
But it also turns out, Joey, that the crossbreed is much meaner than either parent strain.
Yeah, that's weird. That's kind of.
And so the only analogy that I can come up with is, you take two purebred dogs and you crossbreed them, you end up with Chihuahuas every time, right?
The Chihuahuas that chase you in the street.
Yeah, right.
They're always so aggressive. So this is because I have a friend, she's a beekeeper down here, and I was asking her, this like 2 years ago before I really knew, and I said, count, feral honeybee hives. And she said, yeah, basically anytime you see a feral honeybee hive, they're all the Scutellata hybrid. They're all super aggressive. But sometimes they're not, though. That's what's confusing me too. Like even like the hive won't behave aggressively on certain days. Have you noticed? And in some of your videos too, I've noticed it. Like you'll see there'll be times when they're just lit up. Like the video you did called Portal to Hell, the trailer one. And then other times they're just relatively mellow. Is that like a temperature thing that you've noticed, or just what affects that, if anything?
It really doesn't make any sense to us because not only do they look exactly the same as a European honeybee, okay, the difference is genetic. They don't look any different, but just like any other critter on the planet, how they're behaving at this exact moment has nothing to do with their genetics. Behavior does not equal genetics. So they're still Africanized no matter how they're behaving at this moment, right? And so some of them, like not every Rottweiler is going to kill you every time you see it. Not every horse is going to throw you. Nothing behaves the same all the time.
Joey, I'll share something interesting with you. Some of the most docile hives that we had exterminated had killed a dog the day before.
Oh, weird. Okay, yes.
Right.
It's just like a coin toss. I mean, because no matter what, the alleles that come from the Scutellato hybrid they're gonna be naturally selected for. The most aggressive are going to be naturally selected for, and any colonies, and this is probably what was happening when they were migrating north, is that any feral European honeybee hives, which did not need to be as aggressive because they'd been domesticated for so long that had been filtered out, they eventually got replaced just by these hyper aggressive colonies, or invaded by the colonies and then hybridized too, or
bred with.
Slowly, the net result is that basically everything now is the Africanized one, the Scutellatas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have to assume it. That's for sure. It's back to the old landmine thing. I mean, so many people have Winnie the Pooh glasses on, we call it, right? And we get death threats because we're killing honeybees. It's just fucking stupid, you know? It's like, I know.
No, man. People are so removed from biological reality. I mean, I deal with it with plants all the time. People think all plants should be neat and hedged and evenly spaced and have variegated leaves and, be the corny shit you get at the Home Depot garden section.
Right.
The nature around them, they're afraid of the nature around. I don't want to go out into nature. There's ticks and snakes and they're afraid of the living world.
Right.
It's wild. But so what do you guys, so what's the method you guys employ for dealing with these things when you're called in?
Well, we have really good bee suits and cojones like that.
But okay, well, you gotta have bee suits, obviously. But what are I know you use glue. You don't spray a lot of. You don't use pesticides.
Yeah, we do. We do. I mean,
sometimes.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the state of Arizona, we're licensed to use nuclear weapons, but we don't. Posh and I both have all the licensing you can get with the Department of Ag regarding this in our division. We actually teach for the state for licensing, continuing education, and we also teach first responders. We have different classes for first responders and sheriff, police, fire, etc., because they don't want anything to do with these damn things, right? And so we've developed these methods. Actually, I've been doing it for around 35 years, and Hosh has been with me for about 5 years now. And so I developed most of these methods to stay alive, honestly. People ask me, where did I learn all this? And I tell them, Joey, honestly, I have a doctorate from MSU. And they'll always ask me, is that Michigan or Mississippi? And I said, no, that's making shit up.
It's from a lived experience.
Yes.
Being attacked by some of these things. But I mean, so when you're using, what do you use, like permethrins?
Yes.
Like the more organic stuff, or like the.
Well, no, we use the pyrethrins. There's deltamethrins and cypermethrins and whatnot that we use. And of course, the main thing with using anything of this type of thing is use it according to the label, because those are they've gotten so fine-tuned with their chemical makeups, with their one molecule removed to make it a deltamethren, that it only works on that insect.
Yeah, but they're chrysanthemum derivatives.
Yeah, right.
Making the phytochemistry in chrysanthemums aceraceae.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's cool as hell. You know where that came from? Was the Middle Ages and the Dark Ages, and people were not clean. It was horrible. There was no hot water, running water. There was people had a lot of parasites, a lot of lice, and somehow someone figured out that if you bathed in chrysanthemum flower tea, it killed the parasites.
Mm-hmm.
And so so of course modern chemistry and science has, now we have our pyrethrins. So when we go in, the basic approach is when someone calls, which is pretty much almost every day, and sometimes 15 to 20 times a day here in the county for removal. and that's people that have been attacked. Just a side note, people have no idea how many of these bees there are. The average number of killer beehive removals in Tucson every year is at 10,000.
God, that's insane.
That's
There's
per year.
Are out there, man.
Yeah, that's per year.
Fucking terrible.
No, they're unbelievable. And we're extremely rural down here. You know, this is you could fit Rhode Island into this county, but it's extremely Wild West, extremely rural. But we'll get 10, 15, even sometimes 30 calls a day, depending. We never know if we're on call. So we have our list of questions to find out what's going on. It's extremely rare that we'll go out to look at a situation because everything is 2 hours to 3 hours away and we're still in the county. Right.
Yeah.
And so we do work in the state of Arizona, and we do the removal for Border Patrol, Sheriff, Police, Fire, Homeland Security, Customs and Border, FAA, and all that. We're the only team that are vetted down here by the feds for doing removals on those properties.
But when you're going, I mean, so because I've seen you guys spraying glue in the video. So you guys are spraying glue, and then I guess to deal with the hive to make sure it comes back. Do you have to inject it with like neonicotinoids or something, or like?
Well,
I mean, imagine.
Yeah. As to the spray adhesive thing, I came up with that years ago, and it had primarily to do when there's comb involved, when there's honey involved, because if we spray our pyrethrins around, we got to throw it away. So I got to thinking, well, I don't care if these bees are alive or not. I just don't want them flying around.
Right.
So I started experimenting, and I started off with hairspray. Be kind of a logical thing. Well, hairspray, the aerosolized liquid is way too small, too fine of a mist, and it's all scented. And man, do they hate that show. Oh, man, they hate any kind of scent or smell. So then I kind of modified the old approach and switched to the craft adhesive. And it's non-toxic. It's made to use inside your home for crafts, arts and crafts and shit, right? It's just Elmer's in a can, aerosolized. And so we spray that in the air, as you've seen on our vids, to knock them out of the air. And we can, with a half a can, we can knock down 30,000 of them, and the ants get them.
Oh, that's great. Oh, so you're feeding the ants too. That's good.
That's our.
I'm imagining you spraying them with hairspray, and it just, it smells like, when you're behind like an old lady at the grocery store. You know what I mean? It's just getting more mad. They really start coming in. Yeah, I don't blame them. So you do that to basically get the honey, and then because I had this problem. I had a fucking bee colony living in this like dilapidated tool shed on the back part of my house in West Texas, and I tried everything. I was like injecting it with pyrethrins I couldn't hit the main hive. I'd go out there at night when they would be less active, and I'd have a hoodie on and like a face mask and a hat and shit.
Oh, take pictures. Take pictures the next time, Joey.
I was not prepared enough, but I only got stung once or twice at night, but then they'd still be active. And so I went and I got systemic, systemic insecticides from just growing cacti. Because if you're growing cacti in a greenhouse, you basically need systemic insecticides because they didn't evolve with a lot of the spider mites and shit that they encounter in growing conditions indoors or in a closed greenhouse. And so anyway, so I then found this like foam spray that I could inject into this hole, and I think that worked, but it took like a good month to kill them.
Wow.
To not see anymore, like there were still ones going inside. But you got to figure with the systemics stick around, so every time they're walking out the door, they're getting some on them, and it finally just knocked them out.
Yeah, the residual. We encounter that a lot. I mean, and of course, as you've heard us say on our channel, this is not a DIY channel. Don't. I mean,
it's really easy to fuck up, and there's no way to get away from them too.
Yeah, well, they've chased our truck. As you know, we have a fire truck that we use for bee removal, our brush truck, and they've chased it for 10 miles.
Yeah, I saw at one point they were in the truck with you guys. Like a bunch of them were able to get in the truck when you guys were getting attacked, and you went back into the truck, and then now you're filming in the truck, and they're actually in the truck with you.
Yeah, and what do you think, Coach? Every day.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, that's where we get stung. That's our happy place, the truck. We frequently we will leave a job. We got a bunch of bees in the truck, and it's a game of, once they get in there, they're really, there's a point where they're not aggressive anymore, and they're just walking around. The stings that I've taken in the truck, and most of my stings I have taken in the truck, have always come from accidental, right? Like I'll reach in my bag and there's one in my bag and it gets me, that kind of thing. But yeah, we're popping. We drive down the road and I'm over on the side popping bees,
Yeah.
For miles and miles, and we still have them on us when we get home.
There was one video you guys mentioned. I think it was Rhea staying through the mask.
Oh yeah.
That you said you could smell or taste the venom. Is that legit? Is that real?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's we rank them, and it's our own system, but we rank them for a long time. It was 1 through 5. In terms of aggression, 5 being the most aggressive, 1 being, what are these things? European? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we had to add a class 6 because we started getting into a hostility that we'd never seen before. Pretty amazing. But yeah, one of the things that marks a class 4, class 5 is you get into the hive and you catch a whiff of that. You start smelling venom as you're going on, and that means. Yeah, and what that is that's the attack pheromone, and there's so much of it in the air that we're able to pick it up with our senses, which are less sensitive.
What does it smell like?
Oh God, some people say bananas.
There's a banana effect in there, but there's other stuff. It's musky banana. I don't know, maybe like banana bread.
It's so gnarly, man. It's just so repulsive.
It's a great. You know what? I'll tell you, Joey. It is one of the best smells I've ever smelled in my life.
Oh, really?
It's just that I have this bizarre association with it now. When I smell it, I know, like, oh, this is edgy, and I need to keep my mask away from my face, or I'm gonna get it on the nose. You know what I mean?
I'm just talking about the whole sensory experience of being swarmed by
Oh,
these
there's nothing like
insects.
Yeah.
And
Nothing
you can
like it.
smell the venom and then the pheromone that they're using to signal to each other that let's kill this motherfucker. I mean, it's a gnarly experience, man. I can't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of worse ways to go, but that's going to be a bad way to go out.
I don't think I could.
It's a painful thing. I mean, did you see that video of those hikers that we just encountered?
No, tell us about that. What happened here?
Holy shit. So it was last week, and we get a call. We're over in a place called Sunny Zona, and Cochise County is huge. So we get a call. We're headed to another job, and we get a call from the sheriff's department, CCSO, and they said we have a stinging incident and on Stockton Hill. And I'm like, where the hell is Stockton Hill? I've been here 50 years. I have no idea where. There's many mountains here and all that. So it's over by Tombstone, and there's a road called Gleason Road. Well, these 3 professional hikers, they're in their 50s, but they're members of a hiking club, and they know what they're doing. And they were back about 2 miles on this 4x only road that took about an hour for them to drive back down. And then
That sounds fucking terrible.
Oh no, it gets much more lively
2
out.
miles out.
Then they were on top of this mountain, on about a 45-minute walk up this mountain. So I go into my, no fun mode. I'm like, okay, give me the name and phone number of the person that called you who's getting attacked. Do we have any sheriff's deputies en route? If so, which one? And I need that number. How about fire departments? Do we have any EMTs en route? Let's get those rolling. And do you know where this is? She said, well, it's at mile marker so-and-so on Gleason Road. So we flip on the lights on the fire truck and get racing over there. It takes us, I don't know, half an hour to get there. And so in that time, I'm on the phone with the stinging victim as they're walking down the mountain while they're getting attacked. And of course, they're freaking out. And I'm telling them, you've got, remain as calm as possible while moving as quickly as possible, because there's a lot of the hills and mountains out here are like walking on boulders or bowling balls or marbles. I mean, it's very dry, very hard. And there's cacti every goddamn place and snakes and everything else, along with the killer bees. So one guy's getting severely attacked. And so I said, can you see your truck yet? And, or, what do you have? Do you have a side by side? Because if you have a side by side, they're open. There's no cab on them. And that's really dangerous. I don't think any of them would have lived if they did not have their enclosed Jeep.
Mm.
So I talked to him and I was like, he said, okay, now I can see the Jeep. I said, well, let's get everybody down there and look for Benadryl in your Jeep. Do you have a first aid kit? Yes. Okay. We'll dig around, see if you have any Benadryl, and get heading out that road. I'm going to get off with you now so you can get everybody down into the Jeep. And then I got on the horn with the sheriff's deputy. And then I got on the horn with the EMTs, and it's very remote out here, and people that have lived here don't know every damn driveway, of course. And so we had to find the gate that these guys went in, and we happened to arrive at the gate at the same time that the victims made it out with their Jeep. And so they didn't want to be filmed, but we did film after that when Hosh and I are sitting in the fire truck as they were getting ready to haul the one guy away in the ambulance. And Hosh lost, what did you lose count at on one side of his head pulling stingers out?
Well, between Reed and I, we scraped 50 stingers out of his head.
God.
And I mean, they were on his eyelids. This poor guy, they were on his eyelids. He
in
was
his
just
ears.
inside
He
his
was
ears.
like 50 something?
Yeah, that tracks.
Well, he probably took over 100.
Oh yeah, no, but he's talking about his age, the guy's age.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
but over 50 stings.
Yeah.
God damn, man, that's
And
miserable.
but hold on, that the EMT showed up before we could finish. He had them all on his scalp. He must have had 150 stingers on his head.
Yeah. He was in shock.
Though, huh?
He was in.
We honestly don't know. Once you pass, we'd love to know. We'd love to know what happened.
Yeah.
Once you pass these guys off to the authorities, you don't.
Yeah, I mean we're not family, so we can't call the hospital and ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
damn,
and so
that's-
the other two guys had taken I don't know they said just a few stings. We knew they took 20 each or more, and so we gave them Benadryl, and the EMT showed up, and I conferred with one of the EMTs and handed the guy that was in shock. He was going into shock pretty bad. Handed him off, and he wasn't having trouble breathing at that point, but they got him strapped into a gurney, and then the sheriff's deputy showed up, and I think even a guy from the Department of Ag. There were a bunch of authorities there because this is these are serious events, of course, right? Now we asked them, of course, while we're administering, we're trying to talk them down, trying to get them calm, get that heart rate down. We asked them what was going on. How did these bees attack? Well, that's a really strange one because they don't know. So they're walking down this mountain, and the one guy that got attacked the worst had a kind of a bum leg. Yeah, exactly.
You're just fucking going for a hike, and you just start getting attacked by killer bees. I mean, it's funny in this really macabre way.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just,
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck, man? Really?
Yeah. And out of the blue. So did they come out of a cave? Did they come out from under a rock outcropping? They had no idea. They just started getting attacked. And so they to this day, we don't know where the bees came from. And it reminded me of an instance we had, I think it was last spring or a year ago last spring, where Bisbee Fire Department calls us up. We get calls from first responders all the time, and they're either we're en route to a stinging incident, what do we do when we get there, or can you meet us there, please, right? So we get a call, 8 a.m. Sunday morning from Bisbee Fire Department, and they said, we have a stinging incident. And I said, okay, give me the contact name, address, and phone number. They said, it's out in front of the Bisbee Grand Barn Hotel on Main Street in Bisbee. And I went, what the hell? How many victims? 4 people stung. Okay, great. So we show up down there. It's just right downtown Bisbee here, town of 5,000 people, very small, very quaint and all that shit. And we block off Main Street. It's 8 a.m. Sunday morning, 8:30 by then. And we went all over looking for bees coming and going out of any building. So I ended up talking to one of the victims, and I said, where did they come out of? Which building did they come out of? And, who was it we were talking to? But anyway, the gist of it was a cloud of bees, a swarm flying up Main Street that veered off and attacked these guys unprovoked.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I heard that once. I was in the Mojave Desert because I've done a lot of botany in the deserts, from West Texas all the way to Mojave and Colorado deserts, Sonoran. And I remember God, I was in the Old Woman Mountains. This was fucking terrifying. I was with a friend. We may or may not have been on mushrooms. I can't remember. But either way, I heard the swarm. We heard this swarm. No, I think we were in the Chuckwallace. Yeah, God, it was terrifying, man. We heard this swarm moving above us.
Like a helicopter.
And there's no other insect in the desert that would move it, that would travel in that density.
No.
Like there's no native bees that do that. There's no flies. It was terrifying. And I just remember being able to hear it from that high above. And me and my friend, we both looked at each other like, holy shit, we just got down. And I guess they were just moving, relocating something. I don't know. I mean, the first time I ever got attacked, I was with Martin Terry, who's a well-known peyote researcher. He was one of the only people to really do like genetic studies on different populations of peyote, and got a DEA license to study it. He was at Sul Ross University in West Texas, and he's a good guy, a friend of mine, good botanist too. And we were at this property he has up there, where there's all these cool cacti, the living rock cacti and ocotillo everywhere. And we were on this hill, and I heard the hive, and the minute I heard it, I was like, oh shit. But it was still like 60 feet away.
Yeah.
And then we started getting attacked, and he's older. I think he's like 78 now or something, but he's really old.
Wow.
Can't walk that well. And it was me, him, and another guy. And so we're trying to like help him come down this talus slope while we're getting attacked by bees. They hadn't mobbed up on us fully yet. You would get one, and then they mark you, and then you get another one.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a massive swarm yet, but it was enough, that it sucked. And we still, luckily we were like a quarter mile from the car, but I got stung like 2 or 3 times, and it was just, it's awful. And then you're gonna, you run the risk of really hurting yourself coming down this slope, because it's all this unstable rock,
right,
with nothing to hold on to.
And that's what these guys had to deal with.
Yeah, but I can't imagine that, when you're like a mile or 2 from any kind of cover whatsoever, what do you do? I mean, can they sting? They can sting through.
You got to keep moving.
Fabrics.
Oh yeah, no, you can't mess around with anything like that. You just got to keep moving. So just go. You got to put as much space between you and that activity as you can. Straight line, go.
Yeah.
And don't jump into water. Once you're initially they go for the CO2 coming out of your nose and mouth. And so if you jump into water, about 95% of people that jump into water to escape an attack end up dying, because every time you come up to breathe, or you can try to swim, if you're even a swimmer. I had one guy in Texas that grew up on a lake there in hill country, and he swam underwater as far as he could, but they followed the bubbles. And he was lucky that he lived, but no shit. And they will wait around, Joey, for hours.
Yeah. When you said that they tracked your truck 10 miles, can you tell everybody what happened that day? Where were you?
Well,
how did this fucking happen?
Yeah, the most recent.
Really 10 miles? What
well,
happened?
The most recent was out at Pickett's Pricks.
Oh yeah, they were on us for a long time.
They were on it for 6 miles at that one. So Pickett's Pricks is one of our removal. We named it that because the road was Pickett Road, and we're assholes, so we called it Pickett's Pricks. And,
you guys are creative with your naming.
It's a lot of alliteration. We should do more rhyming and less alliteration.
Yeah, more rhyming and less alliteration. Oh my God. So we had to use the jackhammer to get the block out from underneath this mobile, and these bees are they were a class 6, absolutely nuclear. And so, they're dripping venom on us, and the truck is always full of venom. They're dripping venom everywhere. I've seen the air so saturated with attack pheromone that they're stinging birds flying overhead, telephone poles, and tires on trucks. It's total mayhem.
Yeah, I was gonna say really quick, not to digress too much, but yeah, because in your videos you'll say like and a lot of the times you're joking, you're like, oh, you'll see a cow skull, you're like, oh look, they killed the cow. But then it got me thinking, which they did, and you're just joking. But then it got me thinking, well, wait, do they actually go for other animals?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah!
Oh hell yeah!
Every week in this county, they kill a dog, a horse, or a goat.
So there's documented cases where you've seen them kill.
I watched one hive kill a 1,000-pound hog one time.
Yeah, we've got there was video footage of us dragging dead dogs out of somebody's yard, and that YouTube took it down. You know, they're not going to show, but dogs, man, dogs all the time.
Yeah,
dogs.
they kill dogs
every year.
And chickens. Oh my God, they kill herds of chickens all the time down here.
It's so insane. I mean, it's just so nuts that this is like it's got to stop at some point. Like, there's got to be something to check this. You know, whether it's
I don't think so.
or something. But this is funny because I'm looking at the Face Crook page. I call it Face Crook because it steals people's time.
That's hilarious.
That's
good.
hilarious.
That's good.
But there's a review.
And we love Facebook.
You guys got a review from this woman. I'm not going to mention her name.
Yeah.
She's probably this. I've got a thing against feral cats. She's probably the same kind of person that because they kill all the cool lizards and shit that I want in my yard.
Yeah.
But so they're probably the same kind of caliber of person. And she says, "How could you ask someone to be recommended when all he wants to do is kill off the bees?" You know.
So stupid. So stupid.
I mean, there's whatever. You know, she's misspelled words. No shade to her. She probably doesn't get out much. But you know, he needs to be shut down and never be allowed to make TikTok videos. I mean, just you can't even take people like this seriously. But it's crazy that, I mean, if this woman knew that these things are killing dogs and livestock, you know, would it change her mind? I just wonder.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how. You know that this is part of it. It's a mind virus, and we don't need to say which one, but it's a sickness. It's a mental illness. It's like a Stockholm syndrome, where it's like, oh yeah, we know they kill people, pets, livestock. But they pollinate, and our angle is, yeah, they're bad for the environment. They compete with native bees for resources. They inbreed native plants.
These people. But let's be honest, these people probably don't even know what a native bee is. They don't know.
Well put, exactly.
No, this is the problem.
Exactly.
And see, at least with the case of feral cat people, it's like, oh, it's toxoplasmosis. Probably they have a brain parasite. That's why they're probably cutting up kids to feed to the feral cats.
Oh God,
them,
right?
You know, who knows? I mean, it's like declining bird populations, declining reptile populations. Like we've got studies showing cats are, they're great indoor pets when you let them loose. Yeah. They can really do damage. Thank God people don't do that with dogs. But it's the same thing. You get these virulent people. I just can't imagine when you've got an animal that swarms and kills people. Someone's like, leave it alone.
What I always compare it to is when people say save the bees. Okay, which ones? It would be like saying save the snakes. I'm going to raise pythons and let them go in the Everglades because they're snakes.
Or save the cows, but instead it's a cow that, gores people. It's like a very
Yeah. I mean, or like the wild hogs in Texas where you are. Jeez, Friday, they're totally invasive, horrible species. I'm going to just save the pigs. Save the pigs. I'm going to raise pigs just because they're pigs, right? And let them go. Or the carp, any invasive species. That's why I summed it up with an invasive species has never benefited the native environment they've invaded, which is...
Yeah, the hogs especially, I mean, those things we've killed like 8 we have a conservation property, and I killed the last one I shot with an AR-15. I shot it 5 times before it went down.
Yeah, wow. No, I've heard they're deadly, they're tough as nails, they're...
They breed like roaches too. They destroy everything. Like we've had reductions like 95% in some of the species of cacti, rare cacti that we have on our property, and the nurse plants for them and everything. Mm-hmm. And then other animals depend on those, and now they're not there anymore because these pigs just
right. And that's why I call these Africanized honeybees, these killer bees, the most successful invasive creature yet. They're invasive, and they're the most successful because they are at the ground level. The pollinators are at the ground level of all food chain. And they are not localized. Your pigs are localized there, the anacondas in the Everglades, the lionfish in the Caribbean, the bufflegrass in the Southwest. Bufflegrass doesn't grow in Wisconsin. The eels in the Mississippi, etc. No, the goddamn bees are everywhere and taking over.
Yeah, they don't seem to be going anywhere. I mean, like with any invasive species, I mean, that's the problem. I think what's weird about this case is that these because most invasive species, I'll say, it's, there's species like eucalyptus, invasive in California, but very important in Australia.
Right.
And, other, some buffalo grass, very important in Kenya where it's native, where it evolved with large megafauna that graze on it. But, in Arizona, and we get that down here too, in South Texas, it's horrible. It's smothering biodiversity.
Yeah.
But with the Scutellatta hybrids, with the Africanized bees, you can't really say that because they don't occur in nature anywhere. It's literally,
they're man-made.
It was bred. It was
Exactly.
produced by people.
Yeah.
They're invasive to planet Earth.
So it's kind of like this monster that's been created. Not to sound too hyperbolic, but it.
No,
Come on. Look, they've killed thousands of people. So it literally is a monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've gotten a lot of hate for this, though. Like you get hate online from people that just don't know any better.
Oh, we get threats daily.
We love it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It used to really bother me, and now I look for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
I get a little chubby. I get a little chubby with every comment.
I'm kind of driven towards. I just, my hope is that people, as time goes on, people will learn. They'll learn like, oh, these things kind of suck. They're not, And also, we need to cherish our native pollinators and our native insects because those are what evolved here and have connections to all the plants and all the other cool things that live out here. So
I think you're 100% right, Joey. But I honestly, as a realist, I don't have a lot of confidence that people are going to get it, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Look at the other bee videos that are out there. The other content creators that are doing beehive removals and stuff. What comes to mind is Mr. and Mrs. Bee Rescue. That's one.
Yeah.
Now
it's like
I'm not
videos like Save the Bees.
Well, they're pretty awesome. They're pretty cool.
Well,
but
their quality is
their
great.
quality's off the chain. But it's relocation. It's all hive relocation, and I've heard them spout a lot of misinformation.
You could say their quality's nice. I'd rather have two grizzled, gnarled bastards wearing bee suits.
I resemble that remark.
We resemble that remark.
That's my style. I don't want that wholesome Hallmark shit. I want people who are going to be fucking cursing. People I can relate to,
Well, it's real life. We ain't acting, People ask us, my God, your content's so amazing. How do you do it? I said, turn the camera on and I'll start swearing at bees.
Well, wait. So this is it's the same thing I do with plants. So except I'm really excited. But so what?
That's all it is.
When you guys got chased, can you break that?
Oh,
down?
6
Oh,
miles.
okay.
6 miles.
So we're and this has happened more than once. It happens all the time actually. Maybe not for 6 miles or 10 miles, but a mile or something. That happens all the time. So there's so much pheromone. We're soaked in pheromone, and the bees. We have seen hives that will remnant bees. So we talk about remnant bees all the time, which are the bees left over from any removal. Now it's like herding cats. You're not going to get all of them. And an average hive now of these Africanized bees has 100,000 of the goddamn things in it. And so you kill off 80% of them. Great, you still have 20,000 bees mad in the air looking for a fight. And so we've seen them stay mad for up to 2 weeks. And I'm talking bouncing off the windshield mad days later. Well, here we go. I tell this to all of our customers. They say, my God, they're so vicious out there. How long am I going to have to wait inside my house? And of course, I always jokingly say, only 2 to 3 months. No, I'm fucking with them. Anyway, I tell them, we are the enemy. We smell like the enemy. Our suits are saturated with attack pheromone. Maybe we've been stung, so that's in our bloodstream. And they drip venom all over the truck and everything. When we leave, within 20 minutes to an hour, it's going to calm down a lot because that attack pheromone is going to be gone. These bees turn into white blood cells when pheromone is released. And so once that attack pheromone is blown away by the wind and we're no longer there, they're going to calm down a lot. Well, there's always a shitload of them that will chase our truck down. A lot of our roads are 5, 10, and 15 mile an hour roads because it's all dirt out here. It's all the Wild West and it's all washboard and it's a pain in the ass. So if we're on a highway, then we could pretty much outrun them. But 15 miles an hour is nothing for them. So we will leave, and many customers will say, yeah, there was a cloud of bees chasing your truck when you left.
God damn, that's crazy, man. That's good. So what do they do when they finally give up and disperse? Because they need a queen.
Well, yeah. Well, so the remnant bees, and really good point to bring up, because remnant bees, people, oh my God, people get on our asses. Oh, you're just letting them all go so they can go start another hive in the neighborhood. Oh my God. Oh, the big emergencies. Anyway, fuck. It's just job security. So anyway, we see a hive as an organism, much like ourselves, with each bee being a cell and the queen being the heart and the brain. And so we always tell people that any of the remnant bees that are left over, I mean, we never see a queen bee. We don't give a shit. She is just like your heart. And if your heart is outside of your body, without your body, it cannot start another body. It cannot live. So same thing with the queen bee. So we always tell people the remnant bees are like an amputated limb. If your finger gets lopped off, you're going to be fine. Your finger's not. So the analogy runs through. Most people do not realize that every hive is an enemy of every other hive. The only reason they visit each other is to steal honey.
Oh, so they're all fighting with each other.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, they will take over. They're very keen to take over other hives. They're Vikings. They're total Vikings and hoarders.
But without a queen, they can't start a new hive, right?
No,
So
they can't. No, they can't. So it'll be same analogy. If your finger's lopped off, all right, and so you've got 80% of if your hand is lopped off or your arm, you're going to be fine. Your arm won't. You still have your arm is 20% of your body. Well, if 20% of the bees are left over after removal, they can't go start a new hive. They need the rest of the body.
Right, unless there's larvae and one of them hatches, and then it's a queen.
And well, but that's not going to happen without the hive. We destroyed their trailer park.
Oh,
Yeah, we take all the comb out of there.
Yeah, we take all the comb out of there. So their
comb is where the larva would be.
Yep, exactly. They don't carry them with them, And so, and also, there's more on top of that, of course. To finish up that thought, though, can those remnant bees go join another hive? Your finger, if it's lopped off, cannot go join another human. I don't care how much duct tape you use. All right.
Okay, I get it.
So they will die off over the coming days. Now, people always ask if you go into a hive and kill a queen, just the queen, will that hive die? Yes, it will, unless she has laid a fertilized egg. So this is fascinating shit. It's just like sci-fi. There are 3 types of bees in the hive. There's the queen, the worker bees, and the drones. Now the drones are the males, and you never see one. They're big fat couch potatoes. They can't even feed themselves. They go from hive to hive. They're the only bees that can visit other hives. They'll walk in, get fed, and go out, and they can't even sting. Their rear ends are only good for one thing. That's the mating life of bees. That's a whole nother program we'll have to do later. So the worker bees are the ones that they call them that for a reason. They're the ones that do all the work. They go collect the nectar. They defend the hive. They do everything.
These are female?
Well, they're undeveloped females. They're like prepubescent, angry teens.
Okay.
All right. So the worker bees can lay eggs, but they can only lay unfertilized eggs. So you'd think, well, so what? What's an unfertilized egg, right? I mean, a chicken lays an unfertilized egg, you got an omelet. You ain't got a chicken, right? Well, no, males are born from unfertilized eggs. Drones are born from unfertilized eggs. So the queen bee is the only one that is able to lay either or, fertilized or unfertilized. So if she lays unfertilized eggs, males are born. This is at her discretion. If she lays fertilized eggs, females are born. And the only difference between a worker bee and a queen bee is what they're fed during pupation.
Oh, wow.
So a worker bee and a queen bee are fed royal jelly for their first week of pupation. And the queen bee is fed royal jelly throughout the rest of her pupation, about 3 weeks, something like that. And the worker bees are switched from royal jelly to honey, and it stunts their growth.
So worker bees any of those could technically turn into a queen?
No, because they have not been fed royal jelly throughout their pupation.
Mm-hmm.
They also, those queens, they show up inside special cells too.
Yeah.
Because she's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
She's bigger,
Yeah.
right? So you just can't, it doesn't work everywhere. You got to have that queen cell in place. You got to have that larva, and it's got to be consistently fed that royal jelly.
It's kind of pre-planned is what it is.
Okay, so if you get the hive and you get the queen, it's over for them. They
And
might
well,
survive
and
for a
if
little
we get the hive and we knock down, 80% of them, 90% of them, even if there's a queen left, it doesn't make any difference because she cannot continue on without the rest of the body. So it goes back to that analogy of she is the heart and soul of the matter. If your heart is removed, if you're if you get into a bad accident and all that's left is your heart and your arm, it can't start a new body.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So like with what was it? The Plead the Fifth video. This is a old trailer. And did you guys get called back to that? What happened?
Yeah, we plead the fifth again. And so this is why we guarantee our work for 2 years in that location.
Okay, so you kill a hive and it comes back to the same spot within 2 years. You'll go back there for free.
Right.
Well, no, dead things can't come back. It's a different dog. It's a reinfestation.
From a different colony.
Absolutely. That situation was such that it was real convoluted. We couldn't get all the honeycomb out on first pass. There were a few things going on. And so it was basically, and we didn't spray the automotive undercoating in there because it was a housing for a
inverter.
For an inverter.
Let's set it up for listeners. Full description. It's like a Breaking Bad style trailer out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, there was a lot of meth, Joey. There was a lot of methamphetamines.
With the way those bees were moving, I'd say there was.
I've been to Arizona. I know what it's like. So who called you? It was the owner?
Yeah. It's always the owner that calls us, whether it's the BLM or the feds or the state or the rancher or whoever. So this guy had this fifth wheel that he was going to gut and turn into a storage thing or whatever the hell it was. And he didn't get around to it, of course. And so these bees moved in through it was an old POS fifth wheel trailer. And the bees moved in where the electrical cord would go in. You pull out the electrical cord to plug in your shore power or whatever. So the bees moved in through the hole. And in where the inverter is below the refrigerator, they built a massive hive. And they had shown aggression, but not like when we showed up. And for some reason, they just, the owner sat in his vehicle and all of a sudden the bees just decided they didn't like anything. We never know about the timing of all this, didn't have anything to do with us. But they completely lit up. Hosh and I had to drive, I think it was like 2 miles away to get our suits on. Down a dirt road.
You didn't roll up with your suits on. You were just rolling up to check it out at first.
Yeah, well, we're going to drive up and get our suits on and start the cameras and have a nice little video and a little chat with it. All of a sudden, we're like, fuck, get in the truck. Oh, well, shit.
The owner backed his car in front of their front door.
Oh, the flight path. That's what it was.
And so he was in their flight path, and they were already pissy. And then he got out, and then they chased him off.
They stung him up, yeah, 8 times. Yeah, they stung him 8 times.
And we had to drive down the road to put our suits on. So that's a frequent theme where we put the suits on before arriving at the scene and also have to drive off after quite a ways, sometimes up to 10 miles away.
Just wear the suits all day.
Or just wear the suit all the way home, But yeah, then we'll get out, we take the suit off. But I can't tell you how many times we pull away from a hive, get out, try to take the suit off, and we get attacked again.
Yeah,
we got to get
2
back
miles,
in.
3 miles away.
We'll go farther down the road, get
Yeah.
out. Now we're getting attacked again. We're not out of the range yet.
Yeah.
Very common.
This is I like to think about masochistic thoughts sometimes. Sometimes I'll think about if when I get sent to hell, what would it look like?
A lot of killer bees down there. We put them there.
Hot poker in the ass, Michael Bolton playing on the loudspeaker.
All of that plus killer bees.
And the pineapple up the ass.
Right. Nice lawns everywhere. Horrible,
Nice lawns everywhere.
There you go. That is hell. That is
nice lawns.
So
That's funny.
I got a masochistic mind. If you had a choice between getting tagged by a Western Diamondback, but you're only 20 minutes from the hospital, versus getting attacked by bees and you're like 20 minutes from the trailhead, what would you got to pick one of them. What would you pick?
Pineapple up the ass.
No, seriously.
I think I'd take the bees, but that's the devil I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like I'd know how to deal with the situation, which is run like fuck.
Yeah, that's right. Run fuck away. Diamondback, we encounter them. You might have seen some videos where we come across them. We try to never kill them unless they're coming at you, of course,
Yeah,
but
there's no need.
no, there's no need. No, there's no need at all. Although I got to tell you this, Joey, I have a great recipe for Diamondback chili. Yeah, you know what the secret is? Yeah, add more chicken.
Yeah. I remember I went to Arizona once with my mom when I was like 7, and it was like, hey, you could eat real rattlesnake, grilled rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Like some tourist thing. We went and did that. But Diamondback, I mean, I know their bite sucks, and you're gonna have nerve pain for a while. But they're not aggressive. I mean, I just saw.
No, they're not. No,
like
they're not.
2 days ago, fucking massive 5-footer.
Oh, nice.
And she was super chill. She didn't. I think she thought she was more camouflaged than she was, and probably thought we didn't see her, but we saw her. And anyway, but the bees. I mean, I guess the difference is the aggressiveness with the bees. At what tipping point do you start to worry about? Even if someone's not allergic, do you start to worry about like this person may not live?
The great mystery. The great mystery. We talk about this a lot. And people always say to like me, I've been stung thousands of times, just not all at once. And they say, oh, you must be immune. Well, the analogy that I use is most people are not allergic to strawberries. But then they'll turn 28 or 42 and eat a strawberry, and all of a sudden they're in the ER. What the hell happened with anaphylactic shock? And then there's that rare person that is allergic to strawberries from birth, very highly allergic, and they turn 32 or 58 and accidentally eat a strawberry and everything's fine. What the hell happened? We don't know. You don't know. If you go to the doctor and get the scratch test for allergies, they will tell you, okay, you are not allergic to this right now.
Yeah.
You don't know when that next piece of bread you eat, you're going to have gluten intolerance. You don't know what's going to happen in the next second. So that's always a great mystery, and why we always take Benadryl if we've gotten stung, because it might be our last sting.
It's true. At any point, the sand could run out. There was a guy that worked for Reed for many years.
Yep.
Alongside him for many years,
Roy,
and he's a good friend. But he he got stung. I mean, it comes with the job. You're gonna get stung. That's just part of it. So he went for years taking stings here and there, doing the work, taking stings here and there, and then one day he got stung and he went into anaphylaxis.
Yeah, and so I called the ambulance, and he was turning blue, and I've known this guy forever. He used to fly, puddle jumpers, air taxi in Alaska. I mean, the guy's a tough son of a bitch, and so he's like, I don't feel well, and so the ambulance got there, and they said, do you have an EpiPen? I said, oh fuck yeah, I got one in the truck. So I grabbed it, and he's on the gurney, and I jabbed him in the thigh. And he didn't have a lot of meat on him, and I hit the bone, Joey. I hit his femur, and I think it saved his life, because he sat up and went, you son of a bitch, I'm gonna kill you, you bastard. It woke his ass right up. The adrenaline was there, Joey. And afterwards, the EMTs and we were all laughing, because it was like, you saved his life. I pulled that damn needle out. It bent the needle in his femur.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No shit. So.
Well, this is autoimmune. I mean, that's, anaphylactic shock is obviously like an allergic reaction. It's autoimmune. But,
yeah.
I mean, the venom itself, whether you're allergic or not, is still a toxin. It's still a toxin.
Oh, absolutely.
500 stings. 500 stings is a rattlesnake bite.
Yeah, God, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And you got 100,000 of them in the hive, and they all want to fuck you.
So 500 stings is a good threshold where you're starting to worry, even if someone's not allergic, that okay, this is.
Well, but you know what? There's been people that get stung 40 times and die.
Or once.
Yeah. It's really case dependent. It's person to person, and it's person to person, day to day. It's a moving target.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We don't know.
You know, I've taken with these bees in pretty much all aspects of them, that people want me to, tell them how they're going to behave, what makes sense about them. But the only thing that I can be absolutely sure of is that I'm unsure, and the only thing that I can predict with the certainty is that it's unpredictable.
Yeah. I'm looking at. I just looked it up. It says key components of bee venom: melatonin. This is the main pain-causing agent. It destroys red blood cells and mast cells,
Yep.
triggering inflammation. That's not surprising. It's also the component that can cause long-term tissue damage in high doses. Jesus, it is like fucking rattles.
It is. No, it's very similar. Yeah, very similar.
And
Yeah.
then phospholipase A2. This is the primary allergen and a major reason bee stings can be lethal. It works in concert with melatonin to break down cell membranes. That doesn't sound good.
Well,
Yeah.
what's interesting about it though is that in low doses, if you're not allergic, low doses, it's really healthy. In fact, for a long time, and I don't know if this stat still holds true, but it was beekeepers in the Caucasus Mountains that had the longest lifespan, measurable lifespan amongst humans on Earth. They were the number of centenarians that were coming out of that population was really, really high. Mm-hmm. So occasional bee venom, there's a component called aponin in the, like apis, but aponin in the bee venom that is a neurotoxin, but in small doses can do things like reverse Parkinson's and
Arthritis.
And cure arthritis and MS and all of this kind of stuff. So more research has to be done because it's potentially medicine.
Yeah, it's I'm sure it's like anything. It's a fine line between medicine and poison. But
Right.
I didn't know that it was at high doses like that. I mean, yeah, it starts breaking down cell membranes.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah.
That's it. You know. So what do you think is the gnarliest call you've ever gone to, where these things were just, they had killed other animals maybe, or they were just, there were so many of them, or what? I mean, is there one that stands out?
I don't know, that incident at the Elfrida High School wasn't very good.
Right.
Okay, let's hear about this.
So we were, it was last summer,
Yeah.
and it is the worst stinging incident to this day in the world. Cochise County, we love to set records and keep them, you know what I mean? So anyway, we were over in Nogales rescuing Homeland Security, Customs and Border camera towers. We were up on them. And we get a call from a sheriff's deputy over here. And Nogales is about 2 hours away in another county, Santa Cruz County. And so we get a call from a deputy, and he says, when can you get over to the Elfrida High School? Elfrida is a small rural town out here with a pretty good sized high school because they draw kids, farm kids and ranch kids from all over the county and over that part of the county anyway. So I said, what the hell's going on? He said, I have 21 students attacked and stung right now with a little girl in the hospital.
Jeez.
And I said, fuck. I said, Jesus, man, it's going to take us 4 hours. We got to get down off these camera towers and get these guys wrapped up for Homeland Security and the FAA, and then we'll head over there. He said, of course, like they always ask us, any first responders, what do we do? How do we, I said, you got to shut that school down, put up caution tape, and don't get stung yourself, and administer first aid, of course. Close that school down primarily and block off the street and all that good shit, and stay if you can. He said, I'll stay unless I get a call. Of course, he's the first responder. He's on call like we are. So we get over there, and the bees are absolutely nuts. I mean, they're just, nobody's around, of course. The principal and some teachers were huddled in the office hiding. And we get there, and we had to go put our suits on a ways away. I've got on that one. But the bees are completely nuts. And we proceeded we didn't even know where the hive was. We had to locate them. They were in a tree, we knew that, out in front of the school. Well, it turned out that they were in a hole, coming and going out of about a 2-inch diameter hole, about 15 feet up in this tree. And turns out, after a lot of questioning, that the reason they lit up was some of the little boys were throwing rocks at them. So, as usual, there's not enough chlorine in the gene pool.
I mean, to be honest, throwing rocks at a beehive when you're a kid.
It's in the manual. It's in the manual. You don't have to do it. It's in the manual, but you don't have to do it.
You think you can get away? I mean, kids do incredibly stupid shit. That's just part of being a kid. But certainly, you gotta teach your kids not to stick forks in electric sockets.
Right. But here's the dilemma. Chris Pratt came out with a video a while ago. He got fucked up by bees. And he actually came out and publicly blamed a girl in Texas who, for a long time, really had quite a reputation online. She was even on Joe Rogan and stuff at one point.
Oh, I know her.
You know who I'm talking about. But you know what it is. You know what it is. Yeah. But Chris Pratt, he got all stung up, and he came out publicly and said she is disingenuous and she is hurting people with this information. Now, she's not the only one. There's this bee relocation bullshit all over social media, all over the place. We don't get the kind of numbers they get. We don't get the kind of numbers they get. This is why I said it's a problem. So people are watching this shit, and like I said, millions of followers. They're doing way better than us, in terms of numbers.
It's a nice feel.
It's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. But you know what, Joey? It's dangerous. Yeah, but Joey,
it feels good to watch.
I know.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
And there's no bad language.
There's no bad language. But it's deadly. It's dangerous. This kind of thing, right? It lulls people into these bizarre ideas about honeybees. And consistently, I promise you, these people are not posting aggressive hives.
No.
There's other carny stuff going on behind the scenes.
I'd love to show them some of the few hives I've had the misfortune to encounter. Or my friend Kyle, who was out looking for fucking milk snakes in South Texas and got attacked. Or my friend Ken King, well-known botanist down here, who got attacked and thought he was going to die. He just laid down at one point and he's like, they're not, I can't get away.
Wow.
I forget what happened.
No, never lay down.
He had prior exposure from working, some line of work he did that put him in, he got stung a bunch before. And so he had his immune system didn't overreact. But he told me, he's like, I thought that was it. I thought this is lights out because it was just so intense. And he wasn't able to get away, and so.
And we hear that daily. We hear that daily now, and people call us, of course, but also comments. We get hundreds of comments. We're some of the few content creators that actually answer comments. I spend a couple hours. I'm up at 4 every morning, and get the ranch chores done, and I'll spend a couple hours answering comments. We hired a local gal in town to help answering comments because of the same goddamn comments over and over. Why don't you smoke? Why don't you do it at night? How come you aren't relocating? Blah, 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 blah.
Smoke.
Yeah.
What do you recommend if someone, obviously if someone's in Southern Arizona, they can call you, but if someone's, 500 miles away from you guys obviously can't make it out there, what do you recommend they do? Because some of these guys charge a shit ton of money, and they're going to try to relocate it, or you don't know what they're going to do. Right?
It's a tough one. It really is a tough one because there is no, the only thing we can tell people is this is not a DIY situation. You gotta have a pro out, but the problem is in the rest of the country that pro is most likely a beekeeper. Now this happened up in Scottsdale this summer, where there was a hive up in a stucco building on a senior center, an assisted living center, and they wanted to remove the hive, and so the beekeeper, to make it easier for himself, sent up a crew of 3 guys to remove the stucco to expose the hive so he could remove them. Well, that cost one man his life.
Yeah, they killed this guy, Nicholas Soto was his name.
That
was in Scottsdale just a couple months ago. Very sad.
Yep.
Wait, did he tell they weren't wearing bee suits?
No.
He told these guys to remove the stucco and just.
Yeah. No, and they were stuck in a lift. He's stuck in a lift, and they stung him to death.
It was like 30 feet up.
Did he get charged with manslaughter or anything?
We don't know yet.
That's terrible. That's so fucked.
With the fucking Winnie the Pooh glasses, man.
Yeah. What we want to see.
How do you convince someone to do that though? That's what I wonder.
Well, they're just honeybees.
But again, remember, they're just honeybees, and all this trash floating around the internet about relocation and aren't they sweet? And it was another day of saving the bees.
Yeah.
That shit's dangerous. Like literally.
She really does end her videos like that.
No, she's. Yeah,
It's so grating.
It's pretty nauseating.
It drives us
say
nuts.
Something different. Say something different. You don't have to say it's another day saving the bees. Fucking say it.
Yeah.
Say something else.
That's her brand. That's her brand.
Another day of saving the bees.
Yeah. You know, the entire, there's a Women's Beekeeping Association of Texas, and they all ganged up on her because of the disinformation that she's putting out. And they put out videos and all that, and of course they don't have the clout that she has as far as they're not getting on Rogan, let's put it that way. And they came out against her, what she's doing, because of the danger, the people that, she's putting people in danger is what it is. So the problem there's two types of beekeepers. There are the big boys, the professionals. Did you know that honeybees are classified as livestock in the United States? They're classified as livestock because that's what they are. They're invasive species and they're classified as livestock. Now, if you've got, the only thing that they're good for is big agriculture and monocropping. If you've got 1,000 acres of almonds, you need honeybees for pollination. They're Vikings and hoarders, and they go in and focus on one type of nectar. They don't have any relationship with that flower, and they're going to get enough pollination done so you get a crop. All right? All right, so these bees, the big boys, they know what they're doing. They're the professionals. They raise them. They're like livestock raisers. They're like horse people. They're like people that breed exotic cats or dogs. They know what they're doing. They breed their own queens. They are the ones that haul them across the country for pollination. Let's leave it to them. You know what the real problem is the backyard beekeeper, because they think they know what they're doing. And that's what happened to this guy that lost his life in Scottsdale. The beekeeper who thought he knew what he was doing sent them up there to remove the stucco from that wall, so to expose the hive so that he could go relocate the bees in the hive.
Yeah, he sent that man to his death.
I mean, that's the thing is, if you're just a backyard beekeeper, how do you prevent it from being infested with the Sculotta hybrid?
Stop.
Yeah.
The
first line is, well, you got to requeen. You got to be real diligent about requeening, but that only solves one particular problem, if in fact it solves it.
Mm-hmm.
So when's she gonna go on her mating flight? Are you gonna put a swarm excluder on the hive? Like there's a lot to that. But that said, let's pretend that that's a remedy. And I do know people who are requeening in this area. However, it's risky. What you're going to do is, theoretically, you're going to prevent that queen from getting that African DNA in her and spreading it, through the hive, the Africanized DNA. So that works. But what you're never going to prevent, and we saw it here in the Gulch, there's a great video from about 3 or 4 years ago.
World War B.
World War B, we called it. It's pinned. It's pinned on TikTok. But you've got a third generation beekeeper, who keeping bees.
One hive.
And her hive, she didn't know it. Her hive got invaded by Africanized honeybees. They killed all her bees and they moved in. It took a month. It took her a month to figure out something was wrong, and by the time she did, it was too late, because they look identical.
They were everywhere then.
That
hive. She had a really aggressive hive.
That hive blew up. She went to adjust something on the box. The hive blew up, and it was putting people in the hospital all up and down the Gulch.
They were attacking 750-yard radius. When we got there were, 13 people stung and 2 in the hospital. And
Jesus.
When we showed up, about 400 yards from that one hive, which was out her back door, about 400 yards away down in the Gulch, a cop is running the other way, and he just looked at me and said, "Could you get rid of these goddamn bees, please?" He had no suit. He was running for his squad car,
Yeah.
And so we go up there, and what really is interesting is what she said. Now she had a suit, and of course we had our suits. We were all dolled up, but we're walking up to kill her hive and mitigate the threat. And what did she say to you, Hosh?
Oh, she told me that Reed was a fearmonger. Wild bees. Now these people, this is old water down here. These people have known each other for years and years and years. So yeah, she had the nerve to say that to me. He's a fearmonger. Now this is while
The denial.
that's what
The
we're
fucking
talking
denial.
about. This is while her fucking bees are putting people in the hospital. He's a fearmonger. Unbelievable.
What the?
I'll give you one worse. The story continues. 2 years later, a friend of ours had a friend who was house sitting for her. And he commented to our friend how much he was enjoying sitting out by the bee box. She never told him that they had blown up. Do you understand what I'm saying there? Is 2 years later, she's got somebody house sitting for her, and he's sitting out there by this bee box, just loving the bees, right?
At no point did she
At
say,
no
"Watch
point did
out,"
she
they,
disclose anything to him.
So but at this point, they had gone back to being mostly.
Well, no, they were dead. We killed that hive, and she simply got another hive.
No, without warning the guy that it could also happen again.
Or the rest
Or
of
anybody,
the rest
or
of
the
the neighborhood. There were people within 30 feet living in every direction.
So it really is a taking time bomb. You could be keeping a hive. It can get overtaken by the Scutellata hybrid.
Yep, every time.
It'll get Africanized without you even knowing it.
Exactly.
And suddenly you're just getting attacked.
Exactly, and it happens daily at least down here, and definitely in the desert Southwest. And this is why I say the two types of beekeepers, the big boys, leave it to them. They're the professionals. Let them do their breeding. Let them do their pollination. Honeybees in the Americas are only good for big agriculture and monocropping. And the small beekeeper, that's what we don't need. You cannot, they're invasive because you can't keep them in your backyard. If you could.
They're hard to contain, especially now. It's not just like backyard chickens.
Right, exactly.
So your little cottage core thing going on. Oh, keep these and,
Exactly.
The thing though that because you had said, they're necessary for pollination, and I'm kind of curious, but are they? I mean, what if
only big agriculture.
Couldn't native bees be used just by planting the habitat, like strips of native plant habitat?
Well, that would
okay.
The native bee thing for food pollination only worked because people lived in the Americas for tens of thousands of years without honeybees.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Native pollinators only work if everyone has a backyard garden.
You got to have a lot of biodiversity, right? That's the game.
The native plants, you keep the native plants around that they need.
Right. See, everything is standardized. You go into any Whole Foods in the country, and they're going to have the same damn strawberries and blueberries as everybody else because of monocropping.
Mm-hmm. Right, but that's something, and this is kind of unrelated to what we're talking about, but that's could be a way forward for the future if the honeybee thing becomes too much of a clusterfuck. It's just, you can have native pollinators pollinate stuff. You just have to keep strips of land available for them. You have to keep. Well,
that would be ideal.
I'm still not sure they could keep up given their particular needs. I'm not sure they could keep up. And here's the thing too, though. The importance of honeybees is often overstated.
Yeah, correct.
So there's this business of every 3 bites of your food comes from honeybees, right? And give thanks and worship. Lie down and worship the provider. Okay, but in addition, but see, here's the thing. Conservative estimates, 7% yield increase on crops. 7% yield.
None of our grain. No grain is pollinated by honeybees.
Right. Oh, yeah. Grasses are all wind pollinated.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. None of it. Most nuts are not. Only almonds, pecans, and pistachios not.
Yeah.
The
grains are like the major food.
That's
exactly.
right. That's what people eat.
Exactly.
That's what people are mostly eating.
Yeah. Alfalfa is not pollinated by honeybees unless you're letting it go to seed. But they raise alfalfa out here in ranch country for animal feed, for to feed cows and horses. None of that needs to be pollinated unless you're letting it go to seed for a seed crop.
Yeah, they're non-essential crops that are being pollinated by honeybees.
Non-essential.
Where does all this bullshit about the honeybees, are saving humanity? Where's all this?
Lobbies.
Yeah.
Lobbyists.
Big money. It's a $1 billion industry.
It's a $1 billion industry.
Yeah,
yeah. Because I like honey too, but I could do without it.
Exactly. And we'll never have to do without it. We're not getting rid of them. They're not going away. People ask us, especially with the Africanized honeybee, if this is a war we can ever win. No, it's not. We'll never win this war, but we have to win every battle because this is a job that Hosh and I can fail at once because then we're dead.
Yeah. What about varroa mites?
No, they don't care. When I used to have hives up here by the tunnel, and my hives became Africanized, and I couldn't go down and drink a bottle of wine with them anymore without a suit. I had to suit up just to get within 100 yards of them. I used to go down and watch my Africanized bees pick mites off of each other and take the mites out and drop them in the field. These bees.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
Oh, no shit. No, these bees were bred for two primary reasons. The South African honeybee was known to be an excellent producer of honey and very disease resistant. So European honeybees in jungle conditions in Brazil were sickly. They are anyway. European honeybees are sickly. You got to read bedtime stories to them and all that shit. And so they're very sickly and they don't produce a lot of honey in jungle conditions. So they crossbred them and they got what they wanted. They got a very highly productive, insanely disease resistant honeybee, but they didn't know they were going to get Frankenbee.
But the aggressiveness.
Right. And it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse over the years. Every year now, we have to up our game. Every job that we go into, we have no idea how much more their aggression level is. They have increased their numbers of swarms they put out. So swarming is nature's way of propagating the area with bees. You've got a hive of 100,000 bees, 10% of them take off, go find a new place to live. You still have your old hive. European hives would do that 5 or 6 times a year left to their own devices. Africanized, 30 times a year per hive. I used to watch my hives swarm once a week.
They spread that quickly though.
So that's
like sending 30 offsets out.
That's correct. That's correct. Yep. They're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks.
And they're moving north. They're north.
They are north.
It's only a matter of time before the north is saturated. Just a matter of time. This isn't.
They're a better bee. They're a
better bee.
Yeah, they're just better.
And wherever European honeybees, wherever European honeybees can thrive or can survive, these bees thrive.
They do better.
So basically, is there going to be a point at which the European ecotype of domestic beekeeping is not really available anymore? You think?
We hope.
If the system crashes. Up until then, though, they're just raising their own queens and taking care of anything. Yeah. Let's put it this way, like if civilization, for whatever reason, dries up in the Western Hemisphere, these bees are going to take over everything.
Right.
There's no question. Everything and in 1,000 years, these bees will be here.
Oh, yeah. Cockroaches.
Yeah, it's just natural selection. Yeah, they're just the best at surviving ecologically, the most ecologically successful.
Yeah, they are. Yep, they're man-made, they're created, they don't belong on the planet, and yet they're the most successful.
There's a lot of man-made stuff that's going to stick around for a long time.
Yeah.
Plastics
like the layer of microplastics.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought you were talking about my sense of humor. That's going to stick around for decades.
We hope so.
So before we dip out, though, I want to ask, so how did you guys both get started in all of this?
Well, personally, I used to drink heavy. And back to you, Hosh. No, anyway. No, actually, Joey, I'm a home brewer. I make mead.
Okay.
Or honey wine. I have bottles of mead that I made 30 years ago.
So the booze how you got into keeping bees?
That's how I got into everything. Come on, I'm from northern Wisconsin.
There you go. Yeah, I know you guys up there. Holy shit.
It's all true, brother. It's all true.
Milwaukee once. Yeah, I wrote a freight train in Milwaukee once, and it was Oktoberfest. The whole fucking town was inebriated. There were cars pulling over just out the downtown so people could puke on the, into the gutters.
Yeah. Well, when you said the whole town was inebriated, my first thought was, how could you tell?
I mean, yeah, this
hey,
was more so than usual, yeah.
Ice fishing is real.
But so you got into that. So that the meat is what got you into.
Well, I thought it would be all romantic back in I was a young buck, and I came to Bisbee in '81, and I made friends with a lot of folks quick. Bisbee was the Wild West, even more so back then, because the mines had just closed, and I was just a bunch of outlaws, and it was so much fun. Oh my God!
Sounds pleasant. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Hey, from what I remember, I had a great time. The officer said I had a blast.
From what I remember. Yes. No. Okay. This is nice. I like how this story's progressing. Keep going.
It's all true, brother. It's all true. So I thought, wouldn't it be romantic if I had my own bees, got my own honey, make my own mead, never leave the house, blah, blah, blah. And so I got a gunny sack full of bees from a person and a bee suit and 2 boxes. And it started there. And so then I was just a young buck, and the older ranchers out here, they all had honeybees, and everybody did. And they, some of them were getting older or whatnot, they call and they say, yeah, I got a swarm here if you want it. And then, so I started that in about '88. And '93 was when the Africanized came across the line. And all of a sudden now the ranchers are calling me up and going, what the fuck? I can't get near my bee boxes. These bees are nuts. What the hell happened? And I'd explain the crossbreeding, or they would say, those bees been in that shed for 60 years. And now they're stinging the horses and cows and me. What the hell's going on? And I'd explain the crossbreeding, and they'd say, well, come out and get the damn things, right? And so I segued into the removal aspect of it, because I'd go out and tear off a wall, and there'd be 500 pounds of comb in there.
How long had you been keeping bees before you noticed the aggressiveness?
About 6 years.
So 6 years before the aggressive hybrids started floating to the top, and and soon you watched. So you watched this infestation basically happen.
At the beginning, I used to watch, and you couldn't tell by looking. It was a mystery. We used to send, at the request of the Department of Agriculture in Tucson, Arizona, we used to send samples. Everybody who had anything to do with bees sent samples. They sent us little jars and shit, and it was like 20 or 30 bees from each swarm or hive. Sent thousands and thousands of samples to them for testing a percentage of Africanization, because everybody was like, what the fuck's going on? And in 5 years, from '93 to '98, in 1998, they called up all of us and said, don't send anymore. We're throwing them away. They're all Africanized. Just assume it. Yeah. It's done.
I remember late '90s was when you started seeing it in popular culture, and there was like a fucking made-for-TV movie about it.
Right.
It became this thing, and the news really hyped it up. But now it seems like maybe it wasn't that much hype.
Right. No, it wasn't. It wasn't hype. In fact, it was an understatement, if anything.
Yeah.
So I used to watch clouds of my bees chase cars down Highway 80 unprovoked.
That's so fucked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Laughing, but it's just it's so crazy, and I mean it's like something out of a fucking Simpsons.
Oh no, it's so far out in left field. It is. You know what? I obviously totally love what I do. We can't imagine doing anything else. I'll be 67 in January, and I feel better than I did when I was in my 40s. And but it's like being a paid juvenile delinquent.
So how long have you been doing professional bee removals for now?
Since about 90. So
since 90. Oh wow. Yeah. So that's when you really got into it, and there was just that much business. I'm sure business just keeps increasing every year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it does, because now we have some because everything that I've ever said about them has happened, because it is continuing to happen, much to the chagrin of the we love the honeybee crowd.
The bee huggers.
Yeah.
The bee huggers, Much to their chagrin, I'm always right, but boy, talk about satisfying.
Yeah. So, Hosh, what's your background? How did you guys find each other?
Yeah. So, COVID for me, kind of flipped my life upside down, and I did that to a lot of people, and I went from being, I became non-essential, right? So I was looking for work. I'd met my wife, and I wanted to move over here to be with her. And I was looking for work, and a mutual friend said, "Hey, go talk to Reed," and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Yeah.
So
Prior to Reed, though, I wasn't involved in any bee stuff at all.
Oh wow! So you
Yeah.
just signed up and then learned on the go, basically.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah,
So
it's gotta be a quick learning too. I assume if you guys are going out every day.
I'll tell you, it was pretty funny because I wasn't real sure about any of it when I first got started. I mean, he'd tell me stories and all of this kind of stuff, and I'm like, really, really? And then we did a couple hives, and then we got into one up in Kansas Settlement. It was massive. In fact, you can watch the job. It's called Worst Period Bees Period Ever Period. And as it stands, it actually wasn't. We've seen them worse since then, but it was a bad hive.
It was a class 5.
And it was all overhead work, midsummer, and we're out there, and it was nuts. I mean, I got all stung up, got stung through my gloves, got stung through my suit, and
Yeah, we both did, yeah.
by the time we waded our way through the hive, I had my come to Jesus moment. Because I'm all like, why don't we relocate this and that, and then I had that experience, and it stuck. I was like, oh shit, it can be like this. This is a calling.
And now it's more often than not.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. So it's November now, but I mean, in the summer there, it's hot as balls. It's fucking southern Arizona, and so you guys are wearing these bee suits at the same time. I mean, they can sting through the suits sometimes.
All the time.
All the time.
They don't make equipment for us. They make equipment for beekeepers.
Right, not for people who are actually getting attacked on a massive level.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't know what they do down in South and Central America, because in Brazil they keep
die.
Africanized honeybees.
They die. People die every day in Latin America.
Beekeepers do.
Beekeepers do. People do.
Because I mean, they're using these things down there.
Didn't you say in Guadalajara?
Yes.
You were telling me something last week. There was a massive.
Yeah. Well, the average just in Guadalajara, the average number of reported bee attacks every month is 3,000. That's just one city, and Latin America. Now I've lived in Latin America. I know Mexico intimately. I've been in Brazil and Costa Rica and Panama and all that. And the last people you call are cops. You do not call cops in Latin America. You do not, nothing. You if you absolutely have to, you can call an ambulance. But so these are reported. So these have to be pretty bad for that number for them to call, right?
Yeah, it's an understatement of actuality of the actual attacks. Then that's great.
Right, exactly.
Well, and so much of Central and South America too. So much of it is rural. And then you don't hear anything about that. Just like you don't hear about stuff here. I mean, 2 years ago they killed 3 people here in Cochise County. Didn't even make the papers.
Jesus,
because it's rural. Nobody cares what happens in a small town.
Yeah.
Biologically, I just think, if they're that widespread too, think about all the reductions in native bee diversity.
That drives us nuts.
No, now see, this is the big
wow,
thing.
We're hitting
this is the big
now
one.
You're hitting it.
That's the big one right
They're
there.
everywhere.
Because a lack of biodiversity leads to desertification. A lack of biodiversity will fuck all of us. Never mind a killer beehive. Yep. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the real,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
you need diversification, and these guys are. That's why I call them the most successful invasive species to hit the planet.
Because they've got human support.
Yeah, the more you learn about them, they kind of are, and the fact that they're so good at it, just getting established on their own.
And like Hosh said, they have human support. We're aiding and abetting the enemy.
Competing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you think about there's a lot of places in the U.S. are actually pretty well studied. There's entomologists and melitologists, bee researchers studying this stuff and keeping data and surveying on numbers and populations. But then there's a lot of places, especially in Latin America, Central America, where no one's keeping adequate track of this. There's certainly some good work being done down there by scientists, but then there's a lot of areas that are just rural. And
Well,
the universities can't get out there and think about what's could be happening. I mean, just
well, the
massive
Amazon,
reductions.
these Africanized honeybees are decimating native pollinators in the Amazon.
That's something nobody's talking about.
And no one seems to be keeping tabs on it either.
No,
It's,
in fact,
there's no numbers.
and
There's no
even
quantifying.
and even worse than that, people are going to keep bees.
Right. So what we want to see, Joey, is we want to see people stop keeping backyard bees.
Yep.
No backyard beekeeping, no feral hive relocation.
No aiding and
It's just
abetting.
That's
not
it.
worth
It's
it.
that
It's
simple.
just-
It's
it's
those
like
two
keeping
things. If
bees.
people will do those two things, stop backyard beekeeping and stop relocating feral hives.
It will help.
Stop all of that.
Put some agave nectar on your peanut butter sandwich instead. Huh? Or
Yeah.
We'll see no shortage of honey.
Well,
Either way.
there's plenty of honey. There's plenty of honey.
You don't need the honey, you know. It's
No.
for your whiskey sours. Do something. Use honey and whiskey sours. Find something else. You know? Fuck it.
What, do you mix things with whiskey?
I know. Well, I've been sober 9 years now. I had to stop. I was.
Yeah,
you
me
know,
too.
Me
too. We wouldn't be talking if I'd continued.
Checks out right on this one.
Friend of, yeah, I've been a friend of Bill. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I mean, I like honey too, but it's not worth this. It's not. Worth it.
No, it's not. And honestly, in our lifetimes, certainly we're going to have all the honey we can consume. It's not going away. We're not giving up on anything. You know, we get comments all the time, Joey, from people who are like, we're all going to starve the way that you're killing the bees. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. My God.
Yeah, it's just the propaganda. It's
we-
just the
we-
propaganda.
Exactly. We only kill every hive that we get called out to go get rid of course, because we're busy enough doing that shit. And that was literally 0.0001% of the hives just in Cochise County.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. It's not, and when you actually learn about the native bees, I got this book on my desk right now, The ABCs of California's Native Bees
Oh,
by
wow.
Crystal Hickman. Crystal Hickman, she was the bee researcher I had on the podcast a couple days ago. And you know, you look, and it's A to C, so it's species name A through
Oh, that's
A
awesome.
through Z.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
And these things
Very
are fucking dope. They're really cool, you know, cute little bastards that are
Well,
solitary.
Yeah, mostly non-aggressive, mostly solitary, and do not stand a match to these Africanized honeybees where they got 100,000 in a hive and they're all of one mind.
And nobody's aware that most of these species exist, man.
No, I know.
There's
Right.
like metallic blue native bees here that are just fucking gorgeous
Yeah.
and cool. And then you learn they've got a specialist relationship with a really cool desert plant.
You know,
And
people
those things are
people
getting
ask us
fucked.
to like make a list of native pollinators, and all I can do is tell them Google native pollinators for your area.
Yeah.
Because it
You
varies.
Or go to iNaturalist, the website iNaturalist.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
Type in your county name and type in, I know Hymenoptera is the main order. What is the family of bees? Is it Apidae or something? What is it? What is the main?
Well, Hymenoptera and Apis.
Let me see. iNaturalist.org.
iNaturalist.com.
It's
Did you
just
hear that, Killer
nice.
Bee Nation out there? YouTube, and are we still on TikTok?
I had to restart it.
iNaturalist.org, and you could type in Hymenoptera, but because Hymenoptera will give you ants and wasps too.
Yeah,
Or-
exactly.
or you-
Well, you know,
what
we
is
we
that?
tell people to just put in native pollinators for my area.
Yeah.
Or native
Yeah,
bees,
I
yeah.
mean-
You know, the other thing to bring up, Joey, real quick, is that feral honeybee hives, whether they're European or Africanized, have nothing to do with your food supply.
Exactly.
Feral
Yeah,
honeybees are not pollinating your food. It's not feral honeybees that are pollinating the monocrops in California. It's kept bees.
Yep.
Feral honeybees, there's no place for feral honeybees of any genus in the Americas.
Yep.
So
It's
it's
that
really
simple.
overstated.
It's-
This is really overstated, the amount of pollination that they do of crops.
Well, of crops they do, but feral hives do not pollinate crops.
As opposed to
The
kept
feral.
as opposed to kept bees.
By the big boys, by the professionals.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even that. I mean, again, all the grain crops are wind pollinators.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
It's way overstated.
Nobody's ever died of an almond deficiency.
The taxonomic clade I was looking for is Apoidea, Apoidea, which is within Hymenoptera, and that includes the wasps and the bees.
Okay.
So if you type in Apoidea, Apoidea into iNaturalist, there's two fields there. One, you can type in the organism you're looking for, and the other field you can type in Cochise County, for instance.
Yeah.
And you'll get a list of everything, every native bee. And Apis mellifera will show up there too, but of course we know that's not native, so that's a great reference for people to use as well. But it's, I mean, right there. I mean, you look at these things; they're fucking cool. They're all really cool looking, really ecologically important, and little known native pollinators that are getting fucked by these stupid honeybees that are also a threat to human life. So
literally, yes, yep. I mean, thank you so much for having us, man, because this has got to be put out there, man. We can do another one in a few months if you want. I mean, this has got to be, we'll never win the war, but we have to win every battle.
Yeah. Well, it's, I mean, I'm only partially joking, but when I say that I like to see honeybee hate, I like to see spreading hate for the honeybees. Because it's a huge issue, man. I mean, and just thinking about that alone, all the places where records aren't being kept and data's not being collected about all the. I mean, I wonder if they've caused any extinctions of native bees anywhere. Certainly extirpations.
Oh, I promise you. No, massive decimations. You know something that we see consistently. We'll do a job someplace out in the valley or wherever. We'll do a job. We'll knock out a hive. We'll return to the same patch of grass. A month later, 2 months later, 5 months later, and we see native bees everywhere. All kinds of diversity. We absolutely see that diversity bounce back.
Yeah. You see the removal of these invasive species actually result in more
better populations because there's more food.
With our own eyes.
There's more food for them.
And less competition. These bees, these Africanized bees, I've watched them kill native pollinators on flowers.
What do they do? They
dogpile on top of
dogpile or drive them away. They're so aggressive and competitive that they're competitive not only for food source but for housing. They will drive. Now bumblebees house underground here in the desert Southwest. There are no more bumblebees in Tucson because of Africanized honeybees. They will take over underground burrows of bumblebee hives. They will kill the bumblebees and move in. Now, European honeybees never ever used to live underground. We are seeing that all the time now. You can see our videos. We have numerous videos of us doing removals underground where we're digging them out, digging Africanized hives out from rabbit warrens and under burrows where bumblebees used to live.
I mean, that's the thing. Of course, they're hidden native pollinators. I mean, the killer bee colonies don't eat. They fight amongst each other too.
Oh, absolutely. They'll kill each other willingly.
In addition to that, the real problem is it's a sort of like gentrification that these colonists are doing, right? So they'll occupy a space. The amount of nectar and pollen that the average hive pulls out of an ecosystem, okay, in a 3-mile radius where they're foraging. In a month, the amount of nectar and pollen that they will pull out of an ecosystem and stockpile in one of these hives can rear 33,000 native bees.
God, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And out here, food is scarce. We've been in effectively a there's a real dearth of resources out here.
It's a drought, yeah.
It's a drought. We've been in a drought out here for a long time. And
it's the desert already, and then Arizona's in a bad drought right now.
What little there is, the Africanized honeybees hoard. Yeah. And so there's less food for the natives. Now, in addition to that, though, remember, they don't just inbreed native plants, but they pollinate and spread invasive plant species.
Mm-hmm.
So So here's the thing.
It's making me really mad.
I know.
Right.
I know. It makes me.
The other day, I'm saving the bees. bees.
Exactly. No, I fully grok the sentiment. Trust me.
I understand why you guys are so turned up now about this.
Yeah.
I do.
So
right.
out in the valley, 150 years ago, okay, sea of grass, Sulphur Springs Valley, sea of grass from peak to peak, okay, from mountain range to mountain range, nothing but grass. The ranchers come through, not just the ranchers, but the cattle comes through, okay.
Settlers, colonists.
The settlers, colonists, they come through, they overgraze it, and they spread mesquite all over the place. Now, mesquite loves disturbed soils, so you have this decimation of native grass being replaced by a lot of desert scrub, most of which, or much of which, is mesquite, which is an invasive species.
As our tumbleweeds.
Mesquite's not invasive, it's native, but it takes over due to overgrazing. I mean,
but there was no mesquite. But there was no mesquite here originally.
In these areas.
Right,
in these areas,
it couldn't get in when it was a grassland.
Exactly.
Right.
Once you overgraze, now now it takes over.
Exactly.
It's super aggressive.
Now here's the thing: is that mesquite under these environmental conditions, the nectar flow off mesquite here is twice a year, and so that is plenty of food for Africanized honeybees. But because the mesquite wasn't the dominant species here before, the native bees can't really relate to mesquite.
Right.
Not in the way that the honeybees do. So you have an invasive species spreading an invasive species.
And it's mainly because the native pollinators are specialists, and the honeybees, Africanized honeybees in particular, are generalists.
That's an important distinction.
Well, again, mesquite's not invasive. It is a native, but it wouldn't. It's exploiting a niche because of the overgrazing, and the honeybees are now helping that along. And so once mesquite takes over, of course, now the grass can't get in because the mesquite shades it out. So now the ranchers and the cattle have nothing to eat. So this is all the more reason for, ranchers especially to care about this on that level. It's leading to, landscape changes that directly affect them.
Absolutely. You can see a lot of our vids where we talk to ranchers down here a lot. They're all friends of ours. We know them. They're down to earth. These people live outside. These people are amazing. Yeah. And you can see interviews where we talk to them. They hate these bees with a passion.
Yeah, they get it. Yeah.
Get it. So it used to be, you could relocate the honeybees around because they didn't try to kill us. Now, you relocate a swarm or a hive out on any ranch property and you might get shot at.
Can't say I blame them.
No
when
shit.
People relocate, what do they do? What are they just dumping a hive in a tree stump or what?
You know what? It's a really good question, Joey, and I'll tell you what, it's super disingenuous.
Yeah.
Because you can't. First of all, there's no shortage of these damn things. No. Where are you going to relocate them to is the question. And what I am pointing at here is there's a lot of people that say they're relocating and it's virtue signaling. They take this hive out someplace and they euthanize it. It's all for marketing. It's all for show. It's all for clicks. It's all for views. It's bullshit.
Another day of saving the bees.
Another day of saving the bees to a trash can because you have too many damn hives. So how many hives can a piece of property hold?
Yeah. How many can it support?
How many can it support? How much relocating can you do before you completely max out a 3-mile radius ecosystem? Right, from where your hives are located.
And it's already saturated.
And it's already saturated.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that are pretending. It's virtue signaling, dude. There's a lot of people that are pretending to relocate that are actually just gathering up bees and flushing them down a toilet someplace.
Total bullshit.
I hope they're doing that at least. The virtue signaling I could do without, but at least they're putting them down. I would hope, because it just sounds like these things. They're like rats. Right?
Yeah,
they are like rats.
They're like rats. Yeah.
Rats.
The most successful invasive species on the planet right now. And people always ask us. We get a lot of comments from Africa, from beekeepers in Africa. Says I deal with these bees all the time. No, you don't. There are no Africanized honeybees in Africa. There are African honeybees in Africa.
Right.
There are no crossbreeds And
Yeah.
there's a huge distinction. I mean huge, right? It's two different critters. They look the same.
Yeah, the hybrid, again, that's the distinction to make. The hybrid is not the same as the wild ancestor
Exactly.
in South Africa.
Exactly.
Well, it sounds, for better or worse, like you guys have your work cut out for you, and you'll be very busy.
Weirdest job security in the universe, my friend.
There's no shortage, unfortunately, of killer bee colonies to remove.
Or educating people about these damn things.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part, is just letting them know, like, man, honeybees just suck. They kind of do. They do.
They suck.
It's not just the fact they can kill you, it's also the reductions in diversity.
Yeah, they suck in the Americas, and they're actually sucking in Europe now too, because there are too many. There's a really good show from Deutsche World that we use in one of our presentations called "We're Saving the Wrong Bees," and it's a German production. It's in English, and there are too many honeybees in Germany now, in Europe now, and that are driving out other native pollinators. Honeybees belong in Asia, Africa, and Europe. They don't belong in the Americas.
Yeah, no, but that comment about Europe, the bee researcher I had on a few days ago mentioned that too. She said they're even causing reductions in diversity where they're native, because they're everywhere, and they get a boost from human beings.
Too many. Well, that's the thing, is humans are helping the situation.
Aiding and abetting.
Eating and abetting. Well, thank you both so much for coming on. I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate you getting the message out there. So, thank you again.
All right,
brother. Hey, appreciate you, man. This has been absolutely excellent, and really enjoyed talking with you. Let's do it again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I look forward to watching more of your videos. Stay safe out there.
All right, will do. Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Well, Killer Bee Nation.
That was great. Thanks so much. Yeah, that was a good.
Yeah, let me turn this off.
Yeah, we're still.
Conversation.
Yeah, are you still there, Joey?
Yeah.
We're still in the hive. Hosh is looking at comments.
Do you want me to keep it going, or you want me to turn it off?
Well, let's go. I mean, keep it going for a minute. We'll say goodbye to everybody.
Now I'm actually kind of angry about this.
You know?
Yeah.
Fucking right.
I already made that shirt that says "fuck the honeybees." It's on the bonfire site.
I know. I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, I want that shirt.
Yeah. You sent me a pic of it.
Stickers.
Yeah, you sent me a pic of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now I want to make stickers. It's supposed to be a native bee holding the sign too. I don't know if I got to put that in. I got to fix that drawing a little bit.
Looks like a honeybee.
but God, man, they're just this.
Well, yeah, you could. I mean, like you said before, you can see why we're so passionate about it. I mean, it's a serious kind of crisis, actually.
It's ecosystem decline. It's ecosystem destruction.
Right. It is ecosystem genocide.
Yeah, and you've got a bunch of blue-eyed, blonde-haired imbeciles out there celebrating. So I don't know what their hair color has to do with it, but you just. It's this.
What you're saying,
you know what I'm talking about?
Throw jabs where you can get them.
It's the Etsy. It's the Etsy crowd. There, the Etsy crowd.
The Etsy.
The Pinterest bitches. Pinterest bitches. Cottagecore. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's ugly shit. It is, and it's saccharine sweet, and it's destructive.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's just, man, these things suck. Too. Yeah. They're just everywhere. Who wants to walk into just a fucking monoculture?
Well, it's kitsch. It's kitsch.
It's total kitsch, and it gives everybody a righteous reason to get out of bed. Oh, I'm going to save the bees. It gives them a reason to justify their delusions.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick a cause.
Pick a cause. I'm sticking with Santa Claus, actually. If I'm gonna pick a cause. I'm picking a cause. I am. It's Santa Claus.
I should have asked you guys this on a podcast, but do you notice it, like in the cooler months, does it chill out a little bit?
20 years ago, I wouldn't have nothing. We have two retail stores also. Brick and mortar, one in Bisbee, one in Tombstone, along with the online thing, and of course I have the ranch, and I sleep well. Let's put it that way. So now these bees are going year round, and the last few years we get snow here. We're at Mile High in Bisbee, and the surrounding desert's about 4,500 feet. We've been removing balls of bees in the snow. They
How
they
are they alive?
they attacked. I don't even know. They attacked a fire chief up in Whetstone, a small town north of here, in 25-degree weather in February.
Right.
God damn, man, that's insane. This is like laughable almost.
Yeah, it is.
It's just,
It's horrifying and laughable and sci-fi and just make you shake your head. How can people be aiding and abetting these fucking things?
yeah, I don't get it. I don't
You
get
know?
it, and just not realizing too, because you guys aren't the only ones I've spoken to who's who knows bees. Who's like, yeah, they just overtake. Like, if you got an area that's got any feral colonies, they're going to be the Scutellata hybrids.
Yeah.
They're going to be Africanized.
Yeah, period. Yeah, you cannot keep them from becoming Africanized. Period. They're going to be.
That's what pisses me off, though, is when, now if I go out somewhere, and I take pictures of insects a lot now, too, because that's how you learn. You take pictures, you have reference.
Yeah.
Insects, plants, rocks, whatever the fuck, is how you learn. You take a bunch of pictures. And so, going out to photograph insects that I'll see on, a creosote bush in the desert or a sorothamnus or something, and now it's all just honeybees. It pisses me off.
Yep.
It pisses me off when I see honeybees. It's like another fucking honeybee. What about all the cool longhorn bees or the sweat bees or any of the other?
Yeah, digger bees,
cool
leaf cutters, all of it.
Joey, I'd recommend carrying a can of spray adhesive with you, and anytime you see one of those things, just fucking glue it.
Just out of spite.
Just get it. Just out of spite.
Just out of.
I should.
It's
for a video.
It's it's surprisingly rewarding.
I'll order a can of 3M spray adhesive.
That's it. No, you can just go down and get it at Walmart.
Yeah, Ace or
Home
anywhere.
Depot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, carry it with you.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
Just get it, and it works. I mean, that's obviously perfect. They fall down and they can't get up again.
Oh, it made me feel like a genius when I thought of that, and it doesn't take much to feel that way for me.
But is there a brand you prefer?
Nah, I mean, nah. We're using Uline right now because we can get it in bulk online. Because we run out the stores around here, and it was like, well, fuck that, they're out, and I don't want to ever be out again. So we just order it online and get it in bulk. I mean, bulk cans, they don't, people are always like, how come you don't have a 55-gallon drum full of that shit? It's like, because they don't make it that way. It comes in the cans. And also, we need the portability, as you've probably seen in our videos. Sometimes we're a mile back in the middle of bumfuck. We do the removal for the Forest Service and state parks and all bumfuck, ranchers out here and shit. And so people are like, you need a truck full of this. It's like, no, we need portability along with these. What my favorite thing is when people come up to me and they've read about honeybees or they've seen some videos. My favorite thing is when they say, you know what you ought to do? No, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Hey, Joey, this isn't a DIY channel, right? But you're talking about dumping poison into that hive.
Yeah.
We dump the poison in, and then you got to close the door. We seal them in with the poison.
Yeah.
So that's the key. Yeah. That's why that dragged on for so long. While we're talking about supplies, that's what made me think of that. We're talking about supplies because the other weapon of choice, it's glue and expanding foam.
Yeah, the expanding foam.
Now I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm not telling you how to do it. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare.
I won't sue if I get attacked. Oh, the next one, flamethrower.
Yeah, really, man. No, seriously. What about for getting the honey? Do you guys get the honey out first? Or are there ever cases where you're like, fuck the honey, this is just too gnarly, we just gotta get rid of this thing?
We've had a couple of those.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, but see, there are 3 types of removals. There's a ball of bees hanging in a tree, a swarm, very straightforward for us, still deadly. That's what killed my buddy Dan Oldfield down here, is a ball of bees hanging in a tree. And so those are very straightforward for us. Then there's what we call the nuke and seal, which is like bees in a stucco wall or a block wall, and they won't let us tear down the house and all that shit. And so we literally nuke and seal and guarantee it for 2 years. We basically entomb them in the wall or whatever the fuck it is. And then there's the fun ones where we got hosts climbing down into a cave. Did you see that video? where we climbed down in a cave. What do you call that one?
Cave killers.
Cave killers. It was out in bumfuck, and these bees were in a very small, tight, weird ass cave. They were going 300 yards to attack the rancher cowboy that was putting up fence. He was the only one for miles around. They went 300 yards, chased him for a mile in his truck. And there was nothing else around. So he didn't even know where they were coming from. So he went out with his truck, drove around back up this hill, and found where they were coming and going from. We went out, and it was some gnarly shit, but some of the best video we've ever taken because we filmed it in 360 also. And so we had to climb down in this cave, and by we, I mean Hosh. And so, the means, of course, the bees were meaner than shit. But there was comb, and we scraped the comb down and everything, and did the usual where we, take the honey and the money, and then treat the area with that undercoating, the automotive undercoating, which I found over the years masks the pheromones the best of wherever they've been attached to. And
automotive undercoating does? What is that? It's like a spray.
It's like asphalt in a can. It's this automotive undercoating you spray on your vehicle. They use it up north a lot to help prevent rust.
Oh wow!
And it's like this, black shit in a can.
It's like rubber. Yeah, it's like a tar.
But it counteracts the pheromone.
Well, it covers it.
Masks it.
I
mean, we have had once in a while. It's always a trip. Once in a while, we'll tear into a hive, and there'll be this black stain on the wood right next to the hive.
That I did like 10 years ago
exactly.
or something.
It's funny. It's funny when we show up at a job and there's expanding foam all along the base of the house, and it's like, hey, somebody's been here before.
Yeah, somebody was here before.
Yeah, so that's the way to seal it up then, really. But then they'll still come back if there's any holes anywhere. And
we gotta make sure all the holes are sealed up. If the door is closed, nobody can get in, and try to make it. Like I tell people, all we're trying to do is make it so that the next swarm goes to the neighbors, so we can charge them.
Yeah, and the thing to keep in mind too, Joey, is when we talk about them coming back, well, you can't come back to someplace you've never been. Yeah. It's a distinction in terms of reinfestations. So wherever, we're talking about the pheromones soaking into the wood, right? That pheromone will off gas for 35 years.
Jesus.
Yeah.
35 years. 35 years. It's an open invitation. Please come. Please come.
Yeah,
right?
It smells good.
They love it.
It's like a loaf of bread baking in that house you're gonna sell. It smells good.
Yeah, god damn it, man.
In a perfect scenario, whatever they built on, you've got to remove that.
Yeah.
But if you can't do that,
the evidence that this spot is good and was already inhabited by bees sticks around for a long time.
Exactly. I call them a worthy opponent.
Yeah.
I always, we know all the sheriffs out here, sheriff deputies, and all the the police chiefs and officers and all that. And I always tell them, we do these big gift baskets every year for all of our first responders here in the county. And, around Christmas with all of our honeys and honey butters and honey mustards and local coffees and all that shit in them. And I always tell these officers, it's like, I don't know how you guys do it, dealing with all these fucking idiots out there. And, all the drugs and all the fucking mental illness and all these idiots. Give me the bees, at least I can kill them. It's much easier to navigate. There's just one choice, just hone it and get rid of it. Exactly. We know what to expect from them. We expect they want to kill us. It's very refreshing. Whereas humans are just a pain in the ass all around. It's all gray area. It's all gray area with humans. Yeah. Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. It's like I like to know what my opponent wants. Yeah, no shit, man. Yeah, God, anyway, this was a really good conversation. I think a lot of people will get things out of it. And I'm just happy to debunk all the as you call it, the Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh glasses, yeah, Winnie the Pooh fucking glasses. Has anybody got any thoughts for us on YouTube or TikTok?
What do you think, guys? You guys got any thoughts or questions?
Any thoughts for Joey? Joey's got this. We're doing this for his podcast, you guys. All right, and it's Crime Pays and Botany Doesn't. When will this be on your YouTube channel, Joey?
Probably tomorrow or Friday.
Okay.
So I don't edit any of my stuff unless there's a reason to, or if, the person I'm interviewing asks me to. So
Nah.
it's just a casual, easy conversation. Just spit it out there.
Yeah, as it should be. Yeah, right. So what do you think, Hosh? Anybody got any thoughts?
I haven't seen yet.
Okay.
Nobody yet.
Nobody yet. Well, that's all right. We just want to give them a chance and whatnot. And, we really appreciate the opportunity to get the not only the word out there, but what we do is about the most unique fucking job on the planet.
It really is. I mean, and the videos can be very addictive to watch too. It's just like, oh shit, look at me.
And if you know anybody with a VR headset like a Quest 3 or anything, we film in 360 along with all the other regular formats, and you're there with us.
Oh wow!
That's gotta
be a little. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to experience that.
I had a friend. I have a friend that had a VR headset, and he's a gamer, and he said that he had to rip it off his head because he couldn't kill him. He's a victim. He's just stuck there with us.
Yeah, I love the parts where you guys are filming and you can see the bees crawling all over the lens.
Yeah, right.
How do you guys hit the power button with gloves on?
The stylus.
We can't.
No, actually, we can't. So what Hosh does is turn it on and hope it stays on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Turn it on like in the truck or something, and then just
Yeah, that's usually what happens. I mean, we do wear two pair of gloves, and if need be, we'll whip off one of the big blues, and we have the little tighter ones, the latex ones on, and we'll you can tap the button, but you're kind of risking your life if you do that shit.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say it's just you can't really. You have no access to your skin has no access to the outside world.
No, you can't.
While you're in that suit.
Oh no, you can't. Our great fear is a rip in the suit.
So when you guys leave, you just get back in the truck and drive away, take the bee suit off miles down the road.
Oh yeah. People ask us. Customers will always ask us. Are you drive around? And I always tell them when we're going down the road in our bee suits and the truck is full of bees, we never get pulled over for some reason.
Yeah, I can imagine. Shit. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because the bees will get in this. I mean, some always get in the truck with you then too.
Oh, always. Yeah, we just roll. It's very rural. We just roll with the windows down.
Yeah.
They go out and die. They go out and die.
Oh, gnarly. Well, thanks a lot, you guys. I appreciate this and stay in touch. And
brother.
If I'm ever in Southern Arizona, I'll hit you guys up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Give us a holler. Yeah, absolutely. All right, good to talk with you, brother. Say goodbye, Hosh.
Hey.
Goodbye, Hosh.
All right, you too. Take care, you guys.
Later, buddy.
All right, bye.
All right.
Well, Killer Bee Nation, what a marathon.
Yeah.
That was fun.
People are asking if we got jobs today. We may. We got to check the
I got the
phones.
phone on Do Not Disturb so we could talk to Joey for 2 hours.
It's
or
going,
the fuck it.
yeah, 2.25. 2.25
That's
hours.
awesome,
Amazing.
huh?
Great conversation.
Great conversation,
Yeah.
guys. I hope you caught that, you guys.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm going to take the phone off Do Not Disturb, Do Not Perturb, right? Well, Killer Bee Nation, we love having you guys. We like to bring you along for all of our shenanigans, as you well know, no matter what we're doing. And we'll find out if we have any bees today. I don't know. But if we do, you're coming with us. That's all there is to it. Wipe your slate clean. Throw the appointment book away. But thanks for coming along with us on this one. We're here at the ranch at my house. And what a good conversation with a really good fellow, Joey. Yeah, check out that podcast, you guys. Keep an eye out for it on YouTube. And that, of course, is Crime Pays and Botany Doesn't.
And Joey's located in southern Texas.
Texas.
As I recall.
Southern Texas, yeah, that's what it is. So, anybody have any other thoughts for us yet here, Hosh?
No, I think we've covered it all.
Right on, very good. We love you guys, Killer Bee Nation. I'm Reed Booth, Killer Bee Guy. Say goodbye, Hosh.
Goodbye, Hosh.
Getting better. We'll talk to you guys later. Oh, good interview.